Okay, wait. Yep. I am unmuted. Automatically unmuted me. Good evening, and welcome to the Live at the Landis Absolute Vodka. I just put a candy in my mouth. I apologize. As you can see, Steve is invisible, as always. Welcome to the Absolute Vodka Presents Live at the Landis podcast, coming at you every Tuesday evening from. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I put this candy in my mouth. It's driving me nuts right now. Um, it's just it'll go away in a minute, but coming at you every Tuesday night live from the Landis Theater here in beautiful downtown Garron, New Jersey, from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. As always, we have some great shows coming up this weekend, including a Jesse Garron doing a tribute to Elvis, as well as our boys from Shaman are back doing their tribute to Santana with an opening band that's doing some Pretenders music, which I think is kind of neat. We've never had anyone doing Pretenders music in the theater before, so we're looking forward to that. We'll talk to those guys later as well. But for now, I'm just waiting on Steve to come back and do the weekly recap, and I'm not sure exactly when he's coming back. He's over there downloading something, which I guess we could have done without at this point, but let me check and see where he's at, because it's a little odd sitting here without Steve and not knowing how to push the buttons. I can't push the buttons because they're over there. So, it sounds like he's coming back now. There he is. Welcome.
Got it in.
You were invisible for a little bit there. No, I didn't know where to
Because
go.
I'm wearing red today.
I didn't know where to go. I was like, Phillies are already up too, 2-0, man.
I
Schwarber hit a homer.
I actually wore some Phillies
Yes.
gear for once. But hello and welcome.
I found out if I eat a hot dog on any day that there's a Phillies game. So the last three
Yes.
games I've eaten a hot dog and they've won.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm going to be a fat fuck by October. That's all I can tell you. I'm going to be hot dog fatty come October.
Hot dog fatty, dude.
But
Holy shit.
yeah, I
Yes.
was trying to get the thing moving, but I noticed from here everything's upside down.
Yeah, I brought you on. It started to play and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was going to start it.
Yeah.
I
Well,
was in the middle of uploading.
that's all good.
And I thought I pressed a button. And I was like, oh no, did I do that?
I did it.
Oh shit.
I did
And
it
you
upside
You
down.
started it. It was nice.
I did it upside down.
And I was like, oh, that's just going to be a black screen. So I added you real quick on. And then I was like, yeah, by the time I get myself added from there, I could just have it uploaded and be right back. So
Oh, okay.
you did some good
Yeah, there we go.
some good stalling.
Yeah, I had a candy in my mouth anyway, so it didn't matter. I couldn't
I
talk
know.
to anyone. So. But again, welcome to the show as always. We had a great weekend though. I mean, we had Awaken back, and they are just absolutely fantastic. I love those guys. Love that band. I'm glad that everyone there is now healthy
Yes.
and doing better.
Shout out to Ron.
Yeah, Ron.
A
is
lot
an
of people wanted to see him that day.
amazing singer, and it's so good to hear. He's another one. He's a lot like what's his name, Zach from the Rush tribute.
Yeah. Farewell to King.
Yeah, he's got the voice
Yes.
that matches
Yeah.
exactly what you expect from a tribute to a band like that. You know, when you hear a cover band do it like a Rush song or whatever, you don't necessarily go, oh, they don't sound like Rush. They're just doing a Rush cover.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're coming out and paying tribute to a band, you should pretty much sound as close to
Yes.
that band as possible. And when you get someone like Ron up front, man, his vocals are absolutely amazing. And with the rest of the band, you just kind of close your eyes and you feel like you're back at a Yes concert, and it was pretty amazing show.
Hell yes.
And then, of course, Friday we had another
Night of Metal.
Night of
Again.
Metal, which seems to be a recurring thing. We're already talking about another Night of Metal.
Metal
So,
again and again
but look,
and again.
hey, people like it.
Yeah.
People come out. People enjoy it. And we had Metal Gods that do Judas Priest. We had Surgical Strike who do Queensryche, and then we had Motorhead or Head Motor,
Head Motor.
that does Motorhead. So,
Yes. Yeah.
which is pretty amazing too. Those guys are great, man. I love that lead singer. What's his name again? The lead singer for Motorhead? Sean. What a
Lemmy.
nice guy, dude. Lemmy, man.
Lemmy.
Yeah. He's such a nice dude, man. And he really does. He does Lemmy well.
I mean that guy lives it, man.
Yeah.
It's
Well, they
that's
also
just
do
him.
the Lagrange
Yeah.
the ZZ Top tribute that's coming back. As a matter of fact, I think
He's living quite a life.
Yeah, we're trying to work them out with maybe a Street Survivors or something different to see if we can kind of stuff. Because I really want people to come out and be able to see that band because they're such a good band.
Yeah.
We but you got to pair them with somebody else who's gonna, more people are gonna come out and see. Then they see the other band and go, oh shit, man, they were great too.
Very true. Very true.
That's how it works most of the time. I got my papers over there. But yes. So if you want to go ahead real quick, I don't know. What do you want to look at? You want to look at Night of Metal real quick?
Yeah, we got a lot to get through with that one. So I got 2 songs from everybody.
3
here.
bands. So let's bang one out real quick.
Start off with Motorhead.
Head Motor.
I mean, we are Motorhead.
Head Motor. See, what he should have done was just did what he had to do with that one and change it to "We are Head Motor,
Yeah.
we are Head Motor."
Yeah. It still would have worked. It would have sounded a little strange, but
No, I'm sure he could have woofed it out in that voice.
Yeah, he would have gotten it. And then little audience participation on this one, but this is Killed by Death.
Killed by Death. What a song.
Killed by Death.
Yeah, I mean, if death is going to be the one that takes you, I mean, I guess, I had the salmon mousse, but I didn't even eat the salmon mousse.
And then we
Desco would get that reference.
Yes, I'm shocked that he's not here right now.
Yes, so
yelling about this show. Then we followed up with Surgical Strike.
Oh, these guys are great.
I got it. Again, I tried to get, songs that we haven't used before.
Yeah.
From these guys. Usually, the first time around, I kind of pull the heavy hitters,
Well, next time they're coming in, they're doing an album.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So we'll start off with Lady Wore Black.
Oh, I love this song, too.
In the distance, I saw your mother, dressed in black with eyes gray. She wore her face like a shadow spirit. They tell her life was the best of times. The lady will die. In the
Nice. Love these guys, man. I really do. I really
and then
do.
one of my
Speaking of somebody that sounds like
oh, absolutely,
he really does. He has the vocals to sound like
he's got the Jeff
like,
Tate down.
like Jeffy.
Jeffy
boy.
Wasn't Jeffy? What's his name's name in The Ringer?
Oh yes, yes.
Jeffy.
I forgot. I haven't seen The Ringer in a long time. That was a good movie.
We get Ice Queen.
That was a good movie.
It's the greatest line. Totally ad lib too.
I love that movie.
Speaking of ad lib, my favorite Queensryche song, I think, "Eyes of a Stranger."
Another good song.
Coming up next.
There's a lot of good Queensryche songs, man.
Yes. Here we go.
That's
They
awesome,
got their
man.
ears in, man.
Dude. I love you. If you're even remotely know Queensryche, I mean, like we were just saying, everyone knows Silent Lucidity.
Yeah.
Which they didn't play this time.
Yes.
But that's the one song that Queensryche made that pretty much everyone knows. It was the one that got the radio play.
Yeah.
The most. And it's just that's a band that literally gives you Queensryche. Again, it's that's why I
I
think
like them a lot.
I strive for that here at the Landis. I mean, we do a lot of tribute acts. We do them because getting national acts in is very expensive. And, where the economy's been the last 4 years, it's become our thing. Hopefully within the next couple of years, things will change and we can kind of get, I don't want to ever get rid of tribute acts because they got us where we are, but we can work on the national acts. The problem is right now to get a national act in, you got to charge high ticket prices. I mean, your lowest ticket price is going to be $60, which again, compared to $5,000 to see Taylor Swift, it's a toss in the hat, but it's $60 to people that are coming out to a smaller venue to see a band, which to me is where I'd want to see a national act because you're 80 feet away if you get the furthest seat back. So if you come to see Glenn Hughes or any of these other big acts, there's not a bad seat in the house.
Absolutely.
But it's still hard to get them because, like I said, there's a lot of other places that they're playing that, are in our radius clause because, everything's so expensive, it's hard for them to get. So they take these weird, one-offs like in Atlantic City, and then we can't get them because we're in the radius clause.
Yep.
So, but those things will change eventually again. But until then, if you love music and you love any particular band and you see them on our schedule as a tribute, no, you're getting the best of the best.
Absolutely.
Like literally, we're not going to put up a band that's not good. It just doesn't happen. It's happened here, I think, maybe twice in 5 years.
Yeah, I think twice.
Twice in 5 years. Yeah, we got bamboozled twice once by Steve Desco, and once on a April Fool's joke.
Yes.
So, but that is what it is, man.
Yeah.
But otherwise, and then of course, then you got ski.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most, I'd say, in the circuit of musicians in New Jersey, Southern New Jersey, maybe even Philadelphia, one of the most known singers.
Oh, by far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ski is he's a legend, dude.
And he's just a great
legend.
guy. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. And he's just got a sick voice, man.
And he's one of those guys that kind of transforms when he goes to play.
Oh, absolutely.
He really
Absolutely,
like when you
yeah.
see him walking around beforehand, he's in his regular clothes, and then he comes out with those giant leather boots and everything on. You're like, oh yeah, shit, look at this guy, dude.
He looks like he's about to, like put a red ball in your mouth and start whipping you and shit.
Well, you see him walking around, he's in like a quarter zip.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
got a hat on.
Yeah,
You're like, oh wow.
Yeah, he definitely changes.
Jesus
Christ. I'm trying to think of what was the Gimp's name? What was that movie? With Bruce Willis, and he had him in the basement. Oh my God!
Oh, I know what you're
Pulp
talking
Fiction.
about. Yes.
It was
yes.
Pulp Fiction. I can't remember the dude's name though. That they put the
Oh
ball.
my God.
He had I can't remember his name.
Joe asked a question.
No, Joe Watt. They're never happening, Joe. It's never happening. He said, "Dude, get a new joke."
Get a new joke. But yes, and then we had the metal gods. So let's.
These metal gods are amazing, man.
continue
This
on.
is Ski. Speaking of the devil.
Come on, boys. Headed up to the highway. I got nothing to do alone. Gonna do it my way. Take a chance before I'm home.
I mean, that's like.
Dude, his voice. Man.
It's spot on, dude.
I mean, he's
Tells
an
it.
older guy too, man. He's
Yeah.
still hitting those notes.
Yeah. To be able to do what
Yeah.
he does now, it's.
Maybe that's why he wears the leather pants.
Hey,
That's how you hit those notes. You just kind of
Squeeze a couple octaves out.
does a
of
little
it.
squat, and then all of a sudden, ah!
Jesus.
I apologize to Absolute Vodka and Michael Kelly guitars. But
and then we had the Green Minilisi.
we have
That's
what?
my next one.
Which one?
The Green Minilisi.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here we go.
Bike.
Criminal.
Kermit on a bike, fast and green. The things
Saying a
that,
Grateful Dead show.
yes, the things that happen between, well, we're just going to let that one slide. But yes, so that was again the Night of Metal 2, as in number 2, or TOO as in also. So, but
Night of Metal, comma, also.
yeah, also. But we're working on another one for the fall. I want to bring the Surgical Strike guys back for a full album, and they brought a lot of people out, and people really like them. So make them more the headline band this time. I think it'd be a lot of fun. So
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So we're talking to Steve and those guys about that right now.
I enjoy them every time.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're amazing. And Jackson, we love you, Jackson. Yeah, he's really he left his in-ears here. He got him back today.
Thank God he's local.
Love that dude, man. Well, he's just such an awesome dude, man.
Hell yes.
And his father, man.
Yep.
Like you look at they say
Killing it together, dude.
the apple doesn't fall from the tree or whatever.
Yes.
There you are,
Yeah.
man.
Very true.
There you are, two great
Very
musicians,
true.
man. It's
Damn, I guess that
definitely-
means mine's going to be a lighting guy.
Uh-oh.
Oh, shit.
Oh, mine are gonna be broke. they're gonna end up buying theaters and go broke.
Dad, I bought
Oh,
a
Lord.
concert venue. No!
No, don't do that.
No!
But yes, and then speaking of yes,
Speaking of yes.
Yes is next.
Yeah,
Again,
I
one of my
managed to,
favorite,
to pull-
absolute favorite
Pull
bands.
2 from them there, so.
Yeah, we were having a problem uploading some of the video that we took of it,
Good,
so we
good
could show
Lord.
it to you.
It's a miracle I did this
Yeah.
in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
But
I don't know how it works.
let's get started off here with Hold On.
Hold on. God, what a good song, man! What a good group, man. They are so good.
I love them, dude. That's one of the best sounding nights
And
we have every year.
every time we have them back, all I'm doing is I listen to Yes for like the next 2 days. Like I took the dogs to the park again. I take the dogs as many
park
mornings as I
music.
can take them, and it is just like I listen to
Definitely,
Yes all the way. They're kind of tired of Yes though. They want to hear some.
Definitely
They like
good
Britney
Yes
Spears.
music. For sure.
Yeah.
Good park music, for sure.
Yes, unless you have greyhounds, for some reason they love Britney Spears. I don't know what it is. They keep
Is
asking
it just
for Britney Spears.
Dad, play Toxic on
Yeah,
repeat.
it's just over and over again.
I want to run to this song.
But no, I do. I love Yes, and I love those guys, and they do such a great job. And I can't even. I could never imagine having another band play here that does Yes.
Yeah, no, especially after you see this next clip.
No. Oh, which
They're-
one is this one?
They're great. I will let it speak for itself.
All right, let's let it speak.
Here
for
we
itself.
go. Hell
Well,
yes.
And you had that one guy that stood up the whole show, man.
Yes, he was
Like-
going.
like
in.
he
I
was-
would love to know who that is.
I don't know, but I feel like he felt like he was back in, like the late '70s, early '80s, going to Yes shows. Yeah, speaking of Yes shows, one of their big albums.
Yes.
But yes,
I got to stop saying yes.
yes, yes.
Dude,
Absolutely,
yes. But yeah, they are. They're fantastic, and it was great to have them back. And
Yeah,
lots of good reviews. Joe Morrison approved. Hell yeah.
Oh, dude, they're one of those bands, man. It's just they keep giving you like the hits of Yes, and like you said last time they did the 90125 album,
Mhm.
and I didn't get to see that concert. Unfortunately, I wasn't here, but it was one of the tours that I saw, and I was excited to see that because seeing these guys is literally like seeing that band live.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah,
you're
it's something I
yeah.
never got to experience. So every time they
it's the
come
closest
through,
you're going to
it's-
get with
yeah,
these guys.
Absolutely.
And then being able to sit back and Steve and I do all the Steve does all the lighting, I do all the videos. So then you get to sit there and almost like do the video and lighting for a Yes concert,
Yeah.
and it's kind of cool
Yeah, for sure.
because
for sure.
it's not going to get any closer than that.
It's very
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
It's
it's
very-
pretty-
there's a
it's
couple
pretty cool.
bands like that where I'm like, this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
pretty freaking sweet, But then we can move on to the new. I think we have somebody joining us here.
Oh well, you want to bring them on? Do you have a promo for them?
Yes, I do. So we will we'll play the promo and we'll get a little Elvis action going on.
Oh yes.
Here we go. I think I got to
Love me some Elvis, baby.
Let's see.
Oh, see, Rider. Oh, see what you have done. See, Rider. Oh, see what you have done. Well, you made me love you, and now, light my morning sky high with burning love. Burning love. Burning love. I'm just gonna hold in this time, Lord, you gave me a mountain.
So that is May 3rd. That is coming up this weekend. Elvis will be in the building.
Yes.
Looking forward to it. Do we have Elvis on? Hello, Jesse. Are you there?
Yeah, hello.
Hey, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, we don't see
Yeah,
you.
you're breaking up a little bit, though.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we can't. We don't see you. Are you just on audio?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome to the show, my friend.
Yeah, I'm just on audio. How are you?
We're doing good. I think we're on a delay, though. I think that's the problem here.
Should even out.
Yeah, Steve's trying to fix you right now. But good evening, my friend. We're looking forward to your show.
Good
this
evening.
weekend.
Yeah, I can't wait.
So I want to ask you, how long have you been doing Elvis? That was a great promo, by the way. What a fantastic promo.
I've been doing it for 27 years.
27 years. Now, where are you out of?
Delaware.
Oh, and you're out of. So you've been doing it, and now do you tour the country doing it? Because you do a great job. This is I can't.
Oh
wait to
yeah.
see it.
Oh yeah.
Now, have you ever done Vegas or any place out there?
You know, the one place that I haven't played is Vegas.
Oh, I'm surprised. 'Cause you're good.
There's so many of them out there.
True.
And you get a lot of guys that sit there and go, I'm not going to pay your price when I can get somebody half the price.
No, that's true. I didn't think about it that way, but that's good. But everybody loves a good Elvis, and I'll tell you, this area does too. And it's one of those things where that it's that we always tell people that the tickets go on sale at a certain time, but the week before, for some reason, the Elvis fans come out of the woodwork and start coming up. So, and we're seeing it already, and we're looking forward. This is going to be a stellar show, man. Like I said, we love Elvis. We had an Elvis that came here for several years, but he retired, so we didn't have another Elvis. And then somebody showed us your promo video. I'm like, well, it looks like we found another Elvis because this guy's phenomenal. Absolutely, man. I love you. We always had him at Christmas, though. We had like a Christmas with Elvis every year.
Right. Yeah, we actually do a Christmas show.
Oh, okay.
So if you want us back at Christmas, you just let me know.
Well, this is the first time we've had Elvis that's not at Christmas since I bought the place, so it's kind of cool.
How about
I'm excited about it, and it's one of those things where, for us it was becoming almost like a yearly event, like a thing, and then like I said, he retired and we didn't have anyone, and it's usually, especially at Christmas, I'll tell you, it's a big sell. People love Elvis at Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they really do. Now, what got you into Elvis?
I was always an Elvis fan since I was little, and I portrayed him in high school, and we won a talent show, and from that, my wife just said, "You know what? You really need to do this all the time."
Yeah, why not? If you're good at something, why not? And the thing is, Elvis is one of those performers that's timeless, and he's carried on throughout the years. And we noticed, especially like I said, the other Elvis that we used to have here, we noticed that we would get a younger crowd that would come out too. You would get kids coming out, and parents bringing kids, and grandparents bringing grandkids. and it's you bring them to Elvis, and that's why Elvis literally never dies. Elvis lives on through people like you, and we appreciate you, and we appreciate what you do in the name of Elvis.
Oh yeah, we see a lot of younger people at the shows.
That's a good thing, and I think it's one of the things that we see with a lot of the concerts we do here. We do a lot of tribute here. We were just talking about it earlier. We do a lot of tributes here, and then when we do this, you're live now on This Is Our Absolute Vodka sponsors us here on the Live at Landis podcast, and we bring people on, and then we get like a lot of people throughout the week up till your show that will listen to this, and we get lots of because it's on Spotify and all these other after we go done live, it goes on to all these platforms, and then people listen. And then we start getting questions after that, which I think is funny. But when it's Elvis,
right.
you usually get so many Elvis questions because it's, again, one of those iconic, people. I got to ask you this, though, movie-wise.
Go ahead.
What's your favorite Elvis movie?
My favorite Elvis movie.
I know mine.
I mean, it would be like that's the way it is.
Yeah, I'm a Viva Las Vegas fan, man. I love.
Well, Viva Las Vegas is definitely up there. Yeah.
Blue
Hawaii.
Blue Hawaii is another great movie.
Yeah.
I love Viva Las Vegas. It's one of my favorite songs from Elvis, and it's one of those songs that you're in your car and you put it on, you want to race, You want to.
Well, we will be doing it.
Oh, I can't wait, man. That is going to be a lot of fun. So let me. So you've been doing over 20 years of Elvis. So any anything you can think back over your years that was like a special moment or something like a good little story that might have happened to you as Elvis?
I have so many. I don't know. I don't know where to begin.
Any good ones with fans? Because fans.
Oh yeah. We've had so many shows that. It was the crowd was so loud that we couldn't hear the monitors, couldn't hear ourselves sing. They were just screaming so loud.
That's like Elvis. That's what they did.
Oh yeah.
Elvis and the Beatles. Everybody screamed.
Yeah.
It was something about Elvis that brought the screams out, and the ladies always going up front for the handkerchief.
My wife, who was on stage with me as a backup singer.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she would be looking at me, and I'd be looking at her, and I'd be like, I can't hear. I don't know where I'm at.
Now, wait, she's got to get jealous because all the ladies love Elvis.
Not at all.
Oh, well, she's a trooper then, because I tell you, here, you're definitely going to get groped a few times.
Good. It won't be the first time. Used to happen a lot more when I was younger.
You don't look much older in the video, I can tell you that. That's a good thing. But
as Elvis, we don't age. I can't get past 42.
Oh, that's true. This is true. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, see?
But now when you're doing Elvis, are you doing do you do a lot of the older hits? Do you do more of the gospel stuff? Do you do some of the big, the mainstream?
It's basically like a concert if you were to see Elvis.
Okay.
We try to do it as most authentic as you could. There's a lot of guys out there that do they do more of a kind of a production.
Yes.
Mine is more like if you went to see Elvis live, this is pretty much LP.
Oh, nice. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Now, costume changes. Do you do the changes or do you stick to one costume?
As there's two sets, I definitely change.
Oh, good. Yeah, because you got to get hot doing Elvis.
A little bit.
A lot of shaking going on.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of shaking.
Now, to get into that character, did you study Elvis? Did you watch the movies? Did you watch the concerts? How do you prepare for that?
Now I think it's just years of watching them and doing it for years. But just listen to them and try to get into the mode.
You just as long as I tell everybody, as long as you're not like a Nicolas Cage doing Elvis, I'm okay.
Oh no. It's I think you'll like it.
Let me tell you, I gotta be honest, Jesse. I watched that promo a few times, and I really like it. And that's awesome that your wife is one of the backup singers, and that's great because you get to spend that time together and you get to do something together. I think that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, my daughter also did it with us.
What?
Oh, wow.
Was
Yeah, she moved to Florida though, so I don't have her now.
daughter left the building, huh?
Yeah, she left the building. She started when she was like 12.
Wow, you had
Yeah.
that's awesome. But see, that's cool because then again, you're giving that to her. That's something awesome to pass on, you know.
Yeah, and she got to travel all with us. So.
Oh,
nice.
see, that's fun. That's fun. Now, when you say travel, now do you do a lot of the East Coast? Is that really kind of your area?
Pretty much East Coast. We did a few on the West.
Okay. And how about I don't know, like Midwest? If it seems like an Elvis land, I know South is big Elvis.
I know. I think we're going to Ohio
Oh, nice.
this year.
Yeah, my father lives out there in Lisbon, Ohio. I wonder where he's got a theater not far from him.
I'm not sure exactly where we're at.
But Ohio's
That would be a question for my wife.
Well, while you're out there, you can visit the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Elvis is in that puppy.
That is true.
Yeah. If you haven't been there, that's a great thing. It's a great place. It's probably the only thing in Ohio worth doing besides seeing you in concert. How's that?
What about potatoes?
Oh. I have
this echo on this headphones. It's driving me crazy.
Oh, I apologize for that. Yeah, it's usually, like I said, we're usually we're live on video, so we don't have a lot of the audio ones, so it's a little different on our end because of that.
Right.
But I apologize for that. So
that's okay.
So what? So you're where are you out of? Like, where do you live? Where are you coming out of to get here?
Coming out of like the Wilmington area, Delaware.
Oh, okay. So you're up in that area. Okay. Down in that area, technically.
Down,
yeah, for us, it's down in that area. Yeah, I love Wilmington. That's a good area to
we
be.
play a lot in Jersey, though. I mean, we play a lot of areas in Jersey. So.
Well, I'm glad you're close because, like I said, our last Elvis, we loved him until he retired, and he was out of like somewhere out in Midwest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was.
What was his name?
What was his name?
Matt Lewis.
Matt Lewis.
Yes.
Matt Lewis.
Yeah.
Matt Lewis.
Yeah, he was doing it good, and it was something with his wife or something. I don't think she was feeling well, and he kind of let it go. So.
Right.
Yeah, but he was great. He was great, and we loved him. And like I said, I when I saw your video, I'm like, man, if you're gonna go from one Elvis to another, you might as well go up. And I think we're going up with you because I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And like I said, I'm a big fan of Elvis. It's funny because my family was my mother was one of the few ladies in my neighborhood that wasn't the Elvis fan.
Oh.
Yeah, like my neighbor Chuck. His mom actually had one of the handkerchiefs from an Elvis show.
Yeah.
Look, you ready for this? In glass on her mantle. Okay.
How about that?
Yeah, like in glass on her mantle.
Cool.
But she also had a photo, like somebody had taken a photo of her getting it from.
Yeah.
So there's a photo of her.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, nice.
And then the thing that was. I always remember that going to his house because we always thought, man, if we could take that and sell it, how much could we get?
Especially with the picture. Once you got the picture, there it is.
Yeah.
What do they call that?
As long as you got the picture.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because you figure back when she took that, and I can't remember, the picture was in like a magazine or something.
Oh wow!
So so it was like a picture that they said, "Oh my God, that's her!" And
imagine that.
Yeah, that was really cool. But I'll never forget that. But that to me, I didn't get a lot of Elvis. My mom was like, they were all like country, more country, than Elvis, because Elvis was that rock and roll that
It's forbidden.
That booty shaking rock and roll.
Yeah, I think I was the big Elvis in my family. So
okay, but I loved Elvis. Like I said, I had his records.
Yeah.
I would listen to him when he was on. You would always pay attention to Elvis. But it's hip wise, any hip issues or anything?
No, they're both brand new. So no, I don't.
Look, we always have to ask, Jesse. We always got to ask.
Go ahead.
But so look, you were on this Saturday night, correct?
Yeah.
This past Saturday?
No, this Saturday.
Saturday. Yes. This coming Saturday. Yes.
Steve is going to put it up on the screen for everybody watching. It is Jesse, and now you pronounce it Garron?
Yeah.
All right, so it's Jesse Garron. It's tribute to Elvis. Look, even the outfit is gorgeous, man. Saturday, May 3rd. It's here live at the Landis. Saturday, May 3rd. Tickets are $30 and $50. Remember, here at the Landis, you're all in. There are no additional ticket fees. There are no additional taxes. $30 ticket, $50 ticket is exactly what you pay. You don't pay any extras. Show starts at 8. Doors open at 7. right there at the Landis.com, or you can kind of take a picture of that little square in the corner of your television, and you can get tickets that way as well. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be a good show.
I want to know what most people watch.
Oh, it's going to be excellent.
Yeah, where do you get your costuming? How do you that costume you're wearing looks pretty nice and authentic. Where do you get the costuming?
Yeah, there's an outfit called B&K Enterprises. They are the only ones that actually have the actual what am I thinking of?
Like the Elvis costumes, I guess.
Patterns to actually make the suit.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now, did they make them for Elvis, or did they just get the patents?
No, actually, the guy who actually made them for Elvis went ahead and worked with them and gave them the patent, I guess, to go ahead and use the stuff.
Nice. Now, when they do that, are they use it because I don't know if you even know the answer to this. Like, do they use like the same like similar sequins and beads so you get that same look?
Oh yeah, they're identical.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always remember. I always like the white outfit. I call it the Vegas outfit, and then the red one. He had that red one that I really liked too.
The Burning Love.
Yeah, the Burning Love outfit. I love that outfit.
I'll be wearing the white one that looks just like that.
Yeah, I love that. That is such a great costume, and it's so iconic to Elvis. You know, there's so many iconic things about Elvis. You know, when you think about Graceland and you think about his daughter Mary and Michael Jackson and all those great things that
Winona Judd being his kid.
Yeah. I'm telling you, we had Winona Judd here. Winona Judd was actually on the show. We spoke with her and everything. We tried to get it out of her that she was Elvis's kid, but she just wouldn't. She wouldn't spit it out. She wouldn't give us.
We are convinced.
We are. Oh, when you were talking to her, and you're looking at her face to face, like we're in the green room, just shooting the shit with her and her husband, and I'm looking at Steve's. I'm like, yeah, I think Steve's right. This is totally Elvis's daughter, man. She looks just like Elvis. It's funny.
Volkswagen has a fantastic voice, you know, and. Hers,
she can sing.
She was again. That was the show
sing.
that I don't listen to any of her recorded albums, but her here live was a different story. I mean, she was an absolute entertainer. You know, gotta have some sort of lineage.
That's what I'm saying. Just like Elvis, you know. But imagine Elvis if you didn't know any of his music and he performed on your stage and you heard this amazing music and saw such a great performance. Yeah, she's definitely Elvis's daughter.
Yes,
Jesse, we need your input on that. You got to kind of look around at some Winona Judd stuff and let us know.
I'd have to actually see her picture right now to comment on that. I'm trying to think of her going, I don't know, does she?
Now that we said it, the next time you see a picture.
That'll be the first thing I Google when I get home.
Yeah, and it's funny because you see people you see photographs of people, and a lot of times they look different, you know? Like me, there's not a photograph on the internet where I'm not at least, anything 21 and over I got rid of. So I always look young.
Right.
But you see her in person because Steve always said it. And I'm like, nah, there's no way. But then when I saw her in person, I'm like, she just might be Elvis's kid.
Hey. Mom was his personal nurse.
Yeah, his mom was her nurse.
Her mom.
No, her mom was his nurse. Wait a minute. So he definitely slept with the nurse. It's Elvis.
Hey,
and
that's what I'm saying.
Well, that's one of the best parts about being me. My whole career growing up doing this, no one knew what I looked like when I wasn't Elvis. So when I was done being Elvis, I could walk by you and you would never know.
You like Superman? All you gotta do is take this.
It was like Batman, Superman kind of thing. Yeah, I'm still here.
I am Elvis, man. You got the cape, and Elvis had a cape. Oh man, I never realized Elvis was a superhero until right now.
You're breaking up. What happened?
I said we never realized Elvis was a superhero until right now. I think we're losing.
Yeah, I mean, I had some times where I'd come out of my dressing room, I had my bag on my shoulder, and they'd be like, "Is he coming out? Is he coming out?" I'd be like, "Any minute."
Oh, that's funny. That's hilarious. That would be so. You could just walk right to your car, and they're like, "Yeah, it wasn't that guy."
That was great, wasn't he?
Oh well. Well, look, Jesse.
Exactly.
I just want to thank you for coming on. If you want to give anybody, we get a lot of listeners. We get several thousand people a week that listen in. So, if you have anything you want to give them, entice them to come out and see this show.
Yeah, definitely come out and see it. I think you'll really like it. I mean, everywhere we've played, we've always been asked back. So
Wow, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Well, look, Jesse, we look forward to seeing you on Saturday. Have a great trip up from Wilmington. We look forward to meeting your wife and everyone in the band. It's gonna be a fun night. I promise you that.
All right, sounds good to me. Can't wait to meet you guys.
Yeah, you too. Take care, Jesse. Have a wonderful night.
Take care.
We get on these delays. It makes my head spin. You know what I mean?
don't know what it is.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. Anyway, it's Jesse Garron, a tribute to Elvis this Saturday, May 3rd. Tickets 30 and 50. Remember, you're all in. These are those bands, we charge a little more because they bring a lot of people. They got backup singers and all that stuff. Yeah, especially if his wife's a backup singer, the man's putting some money out. The shows at 8. The doors open at 7 as always. If you come a little early, you can go upstairs, grab a drink at our 830 East bar and enjoy listening to some music and talking to our wonderful bartender up there. The tickets are at thelandis.com, or you can go to that little QR code. Don't go to, don't just search, Elvis in Vineland or the Landis Theater on Google, because you're going to get walloped into one of those things where they either steal your credit cards now or they charge you outlandish amount for tickets. If your ticket is not $30 or $50 straight out with no taxes or fees, you're not getting them from us. You're getting them from a scalper. So just be careful. That's all. We want people to come out and enjoy the shows. Or, what we tell everybody? Come get them at the window. There's always tickets available. We're a large venue. We're a lot larger than most people think. We hold 700 people. So there's always tickets available. Even some of the biggest artists, there's always like some tickets available, because people think we're real small and that we're going to be sold out, and we're not. We're a lot bigger than people realize. So. Yep. But thank you for Jesse. I'm looking forward to that, man. I think it's going to be a good show.
That's going to be. So you want to play that video again?
Yeah, let's do that. Dude, that's a really good promo.
Turn it down.
This is his.
Oh, see, rider. Oh, see what you have done. As I see, rider. Oh, see what you have done. Well, you made me love you, and now, it's got power, burning love. Burning love. Burning love. Oh, and this time, Lord, you gave me a mountain.
Yeah. We're just talking because we know that, when we get people on, you see a lot of these guys that come on, you figure he's Elvis. So and like you said, he walks out and nobody knows he's Elvis. So he doesn't want to come on, to a video podcast, because he doesn't want to be seen, because then, he doesn't look like Elvis, so he's got to get all made up to come on. So we were saying there's a way you can put their picture in that little audio thing, so you can kind of at least see them as Elvis, but we got to figure that one out. But anyway,
my computer has one, so I think I uploaded that.
Okay.
So they would have to do that themselves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Unless
there's a way after they join, I can do it. But
yeah, well, we'll look into that.
But that's
anyway. Yes. I want to thank our sponsors, man. Michael Kelly Guitar Company, as always. MichaelKellyGuitars.com. Versatile sound. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned pro, Michael Kelly Guitars offers a range of tones that suit your various genres. From soulful strumming to powerful riffs, Michael Kelly Guitars delivers the sound you want. Unmatched craftsmanship, innovative designs, versatile sound, exceptional value, community, and support. MichaelKellyGuitars.com. Get yourself a Michael Kelly guitar today.
Kelly.
These beautiful girls behind us right here. Look how beautiful they are.
Great. Swap those out,
man. Yeah. We have so many. We have different guitars. Bless you. All right. Jesus.
See, that's the good thing about the mute button. You're not gonna hear me sneeze.
Hear me chew. And of course, Absolute Vodka, available in our concessions. We have them all. Steve can go through those. He loves going through those.
Yes, available now in our concession stand, the Absolute Vodka ready-to-drink craft cocktails. We have their Mango Mule, their Absolute Grapefruit Paloma, and the Absolute Ocean Spray Vodka Cranberry. They are all sparkling alcoholic drinks available when you see Andy at the concessions.
Yes. I'm trying to see if our other guests are here yet. Normally they would be here early.
Yes, I'm shocked that they are not.
And no, I'm thinking somewhere I saw there was an accident on 55.
Oh. Oh.
So I'm wondering if they are delayed,
Ooh. That would be less than
or are
ideal.
they at the bar? Steve is checking the bar
I
right
was
now.
going to say I'm checking the camera.
See if they're out there knocking a few back real quick.
Spying. I don't see that unless they're up on stage performing. No.
Okay.
No. Jeremy's just wandering around. So
Well, we are waiting for our other guests to arrive because they are here in studio
yes,
from the Santana band, Shaman, which is
Shaman.
here this Friday. They've been here before, and I'll tell you what, man, they definitely. If you're a fan of percussion in any way, shape, or form, you got to come see these guys because they're amazing, man. I mean,
they have a whole row of percussion.
they
players.
line the stage with percussion.
A conga player,
Yeah,
a timbalist. What the hell
Drummer,
do they call them?
a regular
A
drummer.
regular old drummer.
Yeah.
A timbale player.
They got a guy who plays that square thing.
There's a
square?
name for a timbale player, a timbalero, timbalero, something like that.
I have no idea what
they
his
have
name
like
is.
a name for that.
His name might be Tim.
Pianist,
I don't know.
you know. It's not piano player; they're a pianist.
Well, they don't like to be called penises. That's you don't. You
So-
shouldn't talk to them that way.
But yeah, they're a fantastic group. I'm excited to have them back. I'm surprised I have not
And
gotten a call.
For the first time ever, we have a Pretenders tribute coming in.
Yes,
I loved the Pretenders growing up,
yes.
man. They were one of those '80s bands that I loved. I tell people the '80s had so many great female rockers.
Mhm.
I mean, you had Chrissy Hynde with the Pretenders. You had Pat Benatar.
Yeah.
You had Deborah Harry with Blondie.
Joan
and-
Jett.
Yeah, Joan Jett. You had so many great. It's like, what happened to that? You know what I mean? Joe, Joe, you probably played a cowbell pretty good. You are a drummer. I would say you definitely are.
He plays mean cowbell, dude.
But when you look at that, it's like what happened to all those great, female rock and rollers, and it was one of those things back in the day that I used to love. Man.
Yeah.
You had so many great females, and what we're doing, I'm bringing it on. So July 12th.
Ooh.
So in July this year. Not July 4th weekend because it's people are always gone. It never sells. It's almost a wait. I feel bad for the people that do come out, but if we could do something small for you people that are local, I mean, I might throw something on. I was trying to maybe find some like a Hispanic act or something to throw on because we have a like if you go to the fireworks around here, you'll see a lot of our Latino people that stay within the city. Give them something,
Mhm.
but I can't find the right band. I've been looking for something, but so for the rest of July. We're doing basically the Landis Fest. So it is a festival of bands, and Bob's going to love it or hate it. I don't know yet, but I don't care. It's going to be 4 to 6 bands, kind of like we did for the Battle of the Bands that we had the past 2 years. And the 12th will be it's going to be all original local bands. It is all local original bands. So we have Breaker coming. We have Gab. Do you know how to say her last name?
Gab Chinku?
Chinku,
I think it was
Shanique,
Chinku.
Shanique.
Gab Chinku?
We're having Gabby back. She's phenomenal. She was here last week, and her boyfriend actually sings for is Zach, who I was more excited to see Zach, to be honest, because I love the guy. He sings for the Rush tribute that was just here. So she's coming back. We have Breaker. We're going to bring the girls of Twisted back, along with our little buddy Logan there. So we're going to have fun. And then we have one more. I'm just waiting to hear back from them. And then on the next week, it's going to be a bunch of original bands. We're definitely going to bring the Goodbyes back, who won last year.
Nice.
And several other bands. And then on, I believe it's the 3rd, that would be the 4th because we're skipping the 1st. So it would be the 4th July of Landis Fest. I got to get this down. This Landis Fest is going to be a Fate's Hand show with a Bone Devil. And again, maybe 2 or 3 other bands. And then after that show, we're going to go upstairs and have a Fate's Hand after party. So it is going to be part of the new Hullet Drinking Club that is coming to 830 East.
Hell yeah.
Starting in May.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes,
I'm
indeed.
excited. I'm excited. So starting this month, this coming month, but we're a couple days away. It's a drinking club, a local drinking club who has hundreds and hundreds of members. And they are now going to be doing an event once a month at the 830 East Club. If you're a member and you wear your T-shirt, you get discounted drinks and beers. If you're not a member, you come out and you attend some shows. And when they see you coming out and supporting the bands and the drinking club, you become a member, and then you get discounts and all that stuff, and you get invited to their big barbecue where they have literally like thousands of people that show up every year for this big barbecue that they have with tons of bands and food and all kinds of stuff. So it's a cool organization. I really like the guy Brian who's the head of it. Could not be. Yeah, it's dude. I John, man, love you guys, man. I cannot wait. Yeah, the Hullet Beer Drinkers Club. We cannot wait to get these guys on board, and we love Fate's Hand. I mean, they're one of our favorite original bands.
Yes, absolutely.
So to be able to have not only their concert here, have some great opening bands for them, but then have an after party upstairs, it's going to be phenomenal.
I feel like you'd be a perfect member.
Joe, that is your night to come out. Joe Morrison is our drinking club.
if there's anyone I can recommend for this,
yeah. If Brian wants to bring anyone else into the club that's definitely going to spend money and see all the music, it's Joe Morrison.
Yes.
It's Joe Morrison. He is the only member of the Landis drinking club.
He's with the Beer Olympics.
Yeah,
he's on our Beer Olympics team for sure.
Absolutely,
for sure. That is Team USA right there.
I'm wondering if that's our guest at our back door. No, it's not. Yes, it is. I see them walking. That no, that can't be them. Please tell me they're not bringing like a bunch of inch. I don't know what's going on there, but Phillies are up 3-0. In case anyone,
there's a lot of shit on his phone screen right now.
Yeah, I got all kinds of stuff.
You got picture-in-picture going on.
I got
there.
a Phillies game on. I got backdoor cameras. I don't know what that is.
Holy shit! Literally, he's got picture-in-picture going. I get one camera, and it's more than my brain can handle sometimes.
But we're looking forward to this again this weekend, dude. I'm excited for Elvis. I can't tell you enough. I'm very excited for Elvis. So we haven't had an Elvis since it's been the last Christmas we did not have Elvis, right?
It's the karaoke guy.
Oh,
yes.
The karaoke guy.
That's what all that equipment is.
Speaking of, if you like doing karaoke is being moved to Thursdays, and it is going to be done by no other than our own Mandy. So Mandy has gotten herself all the good stuff to do karaoke, all the equipment and songs and all the stuff that she needs.
Hell yeah.
And we're going to go ahead and give her a shot at doing karaoke on Thursdays. And we are moving our Thursday shows, which are live, our Local Shots live shows, to Saturdays. So they're going to move to Saturdays. This is all happening next week. This week, there's no Local Shots because we're moving it to Saturdays. We want to see these bands, get a bigger crowd.
Yes.
And Thursdays is just tough. It was a thing we started with WMMR. Reason being, they did Local Shots on Wednesdays. We did Local Shots on Thursdays, but it just doesn't work for a venue. So we're going to move that to Saturdays. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm excited about that. And then we're moving our karaoke.
Live at the Landis Local Shots.
Yes.
Now on Saturdays. More local and more shots.
And more Saturday. Yeah. I feel like Saturday's the day people are going to come out. You know what I mean? More than a Thursday. And these bands deserve it because we give so you understand how it works. We give the door to the band. And if these bands are coming out and they're doing these Local Shots for us and as well as WMMR, we want to make sure that they come out and that they get, they make a few bucks because that's what band, you don't just play to play. Some people do, but that's what they do. They come out and, they got
a lot to do.
Well, they got to pay for gas. Some of them are coming from Philly. They got to pay tolls and all that. So, if we want to make sure they bring some people out and they can make a few dollars because, we really want to support the bands and we want to keep them going. Yeah. Joe Morrison is the king of the Landis Drinking Club, without a doubt. We got
to get him a hat.
Without a doubt. Did you send them a text? Do you have his number?
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah, Steve is going to send them a text.
Oh, boy. Let's see how that goes. In the meantime, if you want to talk something up. I can't talk and type at the same time.
Oh, what do you got? You can put up. We got sponsors. We got. How about?
Let's see.
We got Wanderback Beer Works.
Yeah, here.
Our good friends at Wanderback will be moving in downstairs next door to the Landis soon. We will have a brewery attached to the theater. We cannot wait. Those plans are still being approved. Everything's going through, and we can't wait for it to happen. And that is Wanderback Beer Works. You can now get these beers. When you come to see a live show here at the Landis, they are brewing locally until the actual brewery opens. They have a place they're brewing locally that I forget. It's being a place that somebody gave them to use until they could open up.
I want to say Mud Hen, but it's not.
Yeah, it's somewhere local though. But they have their perfectly cromulent IPA. Their Wanderback Lager is available. Risk Management. Their future-proof Pilsner, which I like. To me, it is like cologne for your tongue. It is delicious and it is good. And then their Feast beer, it's a fest beer, but I like to call it Feast beer because it sounds German.
Their golden lager.
Yes, that is a good. What's the new one? It's
The dark matter.
well, we have this one here too. We have the Helles Lager, which
so that is the same as the
that's not
Wanderback
up there
lager.
though. Oh, is that the Wanderback Lager?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's
Just
the Helles
in
Lager.
12 ounce. So these are now they make them in 12-ounce cans instead of 16-ounce pint giant cans. So you can get like a 6-pack of this versus a 4-pack of these. So that's made more for your tailgating. That's why it's got the Phillies colors on it.
Oh, nice. Well, this is a
Same with
commemorative
the,
can for
same with-
opening day for the Phillies.
Yes. Same with their everyday beer, Hugo.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Their hoppy pale lager.
So we got
Also
these new
now
little
in
cans.
12-ounce cans.
Steve's got a can thing there in front of him to hide all
looks
his
great.
gadgets that he uses for the show.
Fantastic. I can
That's-
have so much more shit here now.
Yeah,
I really do. I got a whole spread. Nobody can see it.
that's true.
It's
Do you have
fantastic.
a
He said, "I am in parking lot, and Frank is 3 minutes away." So there we go.
well, tell him if he am in parking lot, he am get in studio.
No, you might want to
That's
just wait for
Yoda
them to be
talk.
together.
That
so.
is Yoda talk. And then, of course, we have what we got somebody else we can put on there. What was our other or upcoming
Divine
shows? Do you have
Voice.
that?
No, I don't have a May one.
Oh no.
for that yet.
Well, it's not May yet. That's why
That's
our
why.
graphic artist Rob
Yes,
is usually tuning in. We
but
need
I don't like
yeah.
to play the end of April. I think I might have the May one. I just don't have it on here. But I don't like to play that. I got to figure a way to like cross them out in a
Yeah.
cool way.
I
Because then you
spoke with
play it,
Rob
it's
today.
2 shows that are behind.
I'm putting together. I have been putting together a special thing for the Hullet Beer Drinking Club,
Mm.
like a nice thing for that to promote that with. But also, I want our festival, our July Fest, our Landis Fest posters to look really cool
Yes.
and have that festival look to where you can't understand a fucking thing you're reading. But you know, what I mean? One of those- festival posters are unbelievable, man. It's like
Yeah.
some of them you're like, oh, I get it, but then some of them are like I don't understand what it is with like the heavy thrash metal bands
Oh, having logos you can't
that have a
read at all?
logo. You
Yeah, I
have
never
no
understood
fucking
it.
idea what the name of that
never
band is.
never got that's the one genre of like that kind of
Yeah, I don't get it.
that era of music that I never got into because I'm like, I don't even know what your band's called.
That's what I'm saying. And
I have
then,
no idea.
then you see a festival and they have 10 bands, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I can't read the name of
Yeah.
one single band.
yeah,
on
but
that, on
hey,
that.
somebody loves them.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell they're called, but somebody
Yeah.
loves them. There's a lot of bands like that where I'm like, dude,
Yeah, I don't
get that this is the style,
Yeah.
but Jesus, like, how do you?
just tell me what the name of the band is.
And some you can read, like I mean, there it's that broken letters and
Yeah.
shit like that. But you're
Takes
like, all
you a
right,
half
that
hour.
says that. Okay, here we go. And then you get another one where you're like, you got to squint, and the sun has
Yeah,
to
but it's
be,
like it's like getting the Sunday paper and
3
trying to do a
o'clock over the
crossword to
horizon.
figure out what the
Ah,
freaking
speaking
band
of
name is.
Sunday paper. There's one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the Violent Voice, our
Yes.
local Violent Voice. Violent Voice is the local paper to Vineland. It is actually a wonderful paper. You can get it from the HamiltonGazette.com. The people who do the Hamilton Gazette are the people who also do the Vineland newspaper. It's $40 a year for 52 weeks. It's delivered to your door weekly. Local stories, news, events, Landis Theater concert events, interviews, free weekly issue available at the Landis. I think they're stopping that though. I don't think the free one's available anymore. It was for several months, and then I got to the point where people are subscribing, and they don't have to give it away for free anymore.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's just like cocaine.
Is our thing back?
I do not know. I know they took the
Out
box
front?
to paint it.
Yes.
I think they were going to make it the
I don't know if
Violent
it's made
Voice
our-
colors.
Made
Yeah,
its way back yet? Actually.
yeah. I do
That's
not
funny
know.
now.
But there's our wonderful mayor on that cover of that
Yes.
issue, Anthony. It's so good to see him.
I
What a
got to start
wonderful
getting
guy.
those front pages again.
Yeah, well, I got to talk to her. I
Yeah.
got to talk to her and see if we can get that working back there. There was an issue with something, and then like the box got pulled, but they're still making the paper. So but I think it changed hands. I think there became a new owner now, and I think the owner is local to Vineland.
Oh, cool.
There might have been I think there was an issue that came out that talked about it, and then things kind of changed,
Oh, nice.
and that's kind of where we're at now. We're in this change of the newspaper. But
Gotcha.
it's still there. It's now because I guess there's a actual Vineland resident that's part owner.
Oh,
It's
cool.
going to be even more, more Vineland.
More
which is
local.
kind of cool.
More,
Kinda cool, yeah.
more Vineland, more local.
Exactly. But coming up this weekend, we are excited about bringing back Shaman. Do you have a video we can run for them?
I do.
Let's run their promo real quick.
Yeah. Let's see where the hell is
Baby, I love this band.
Here we go.
Got a black magic woman. Got a black magic woman. woman got me so blind I can't see. I'm trying to find her, she's not there. I tell you about the way she looks, the way she acted, the color of her hair. Her look was soft and cool, her eyes blue and bright, but she's not there. Got a black magic woman.
Uh-oh. He's looping it. He's looping it. Black
I have to
Magic
loop the Wanderback
Woman.
one because we always talk about them for too long.
Dude, Santana's one of those. It's just he's had so many great people that have sung for because Santana's a guitar player. He doesn't really, he doesn't sing,
Yes,
but he always has great singers. What's the what's the one he does smooth?
Oh, Rob Thomas.
With Rob Thomas. And
Yes.
Speaking of another great
I see
singer,
them
man.
on their way over this way.
Oh
now.
man, I love Rob Thomas and Smooth. When you talk about bands like that, when you talk about old Santana, you're talking about Woodstocks, Santana,
Yeah.
this great guitar player. But like a lot of bands we spoke about before, they all had that one album that had a radio hit. Like Yes, Yes was, if you were a Yes fan, you loved Yes. But when they came out with that 90125 album, all of a sudden, Leave It, Hold On, all these great songs were getting airplay, and people were like, "Oh, this band's great."
Yeah.
They're like, "Yeah, they've been around for like 30 years." Then people start loving their older music. Santana was like that with Smooth.
Yes.
When Rob
Yep.
Thomas came out with Smooth, and they started doing that song, all of a sudden, Santana was, it's on people's lips that were never, speaking about Santana before,
Yeah.
unless you were a big like Woodstock fan. That's
Yes.
where I knew Santana from.
Yeah.
More than anything.
That
but,
that performance is iconic. But
Yeah.
speaking of,
Oh, absolutely.
you guys want to come on over?
Come on in, gentlemen.
Yeah. Here we go. We'll bring up their
We'll bring up their promo.
title
So
card
that
to hide
is-
you.
How you doing, guys? Good to see you guys. Good to see you.
Good
Have
to
a
see
seat
you.
right here. There's
Have a
headphones.
seat. Pick up a mic. No
Well,
headphones. on
the
this one.
headphones are disappeared. There's
Yes.
microphones though.
Yes.
Where'd the headphones
They're just
go?
talking to us.
Oh.
Yes.
But it is so it is Shaman. It is the Santana Experience. It is this Friday, May 2nd. Tickets are $30. Remember, at the Landis, you're in $30. That's it, man. There's no taxes, no fees. If you go online anywhere else to buy tickets and you see you are paying more than $30, you are not on thelandis.com. Make sure you go to thelandis.com. Show starts at 8, doors open at 7. This year they have a special guest, Talk of the Town, a Pretenders tribute.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm excited. But we have a couple gentlemen from Shaman. And guys, you want to introduce yourselves real quick?
Yeah, I'm Frank Conocello, the conga player for Shaman.
Chuck Schaefer, timbali, percussion.
Now, what were we going to ask?
What is the actual term for a timbali player? I know there's a name for it. Isn't there an actual like a
Timbaliist?
timbalero or something like that?
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Timbalero? Make
Timbalero,
sure you use
yes.
that microphone
You're
so I
right.
can hear you.
Yes.
Timbalero, yeah.
Yes. there
Oh,
we go.
okay.
Yeah.
So we know this now.
Look
Yeah.
at that. See, I was a
knew that.
percussion player too.
Yeah.
So that's
Oh, so was I, but I never fucking.
And I think for congas, it was congado.
yeah. I think
Really?
so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But actually, the timbalis are a Latin kettle drum. You know what the kettle drums are?
Mhm.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love kettle drums. I always wanted to learn to play a kettle drum.
Yes.
Did you?
There's something. You know what it was? Sesame Street.
Oh,
There was a thing on Sesame Street when I was
Yeah.
a kid, and it was these guys playing kettle drums, and it was so beautiful, and it was just such a unique sound, and that's where, as a child, I always remember that it's one of those things that just sticks with you. You know what I mean?
Well, that's how I found Chuck. He was on a corner on South Street playing a kettle
with a
drum.
bunch of fucking Muppets,
yeah,
right?
he was, for quarters and nickels. And I said, hey, why don't you try to play timbales? And that's how we met.
yeah. And, with the kettle drum, though, you actually have a pedal on each one, and you can set the tone. And it can actually.
Now, do you bring a kettle drum with you?
No, come on.
Oh, okay. Well, no, we
It's
we
bad
had.
enough I got to bring what I have to bring.
Yes. Right.
Didn't we have a Led Zeppelin band that brought a kettle drum with them? once?
Yes.
Timpani?
Yes.
Oh, it was a
It's
timpani.
timpani,
Yeah, but
yeah.
no, Tiffany and
Yeah.
kettle drums are the same thing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
literally they look exactly the same to me.
They,
So
they are exactly.
Just,
Oh, it's just a
both-
different
both,
name.
just as hard to carry too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look, they're huge, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
They're
listen,
like enormous.
the next band I'm in, I'm playing the triangle.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we were just
Right.
talking about the triangle. I love the
Or
triangle.
the greatest of all, become a singer. Become a
You don't have to
singer.
bring
All you got to
anything,
do is
right.
worry
Yeah.
about clothes.
You can
know?
show up like right before the
Yeah.
set starts. You
Yep.
don't have to worry about
Yep.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
we've had a couple that they show up. I mean, when I tell you it's that somebody else does sound check.
Oh,
for
yeah.
'em, and then they show up and have to go on. You're like, well, that guy doesn't sound the same as you at
No,
all, you
yeah,
know.
no.
So
And
yeah,
that's,
we get a couple that are like that. So
and I don't understand it, but and they always make fun. The poor drummers and the percussionists are the ones dragging stuff in and dragging stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'm the last one to be set up and the last one to leave.
Especially if you
Yes.
bring a timpani with you. Good Lord, man. That's like bringing an elephant wherever you go.
Don't give them any ideas, okay? We got enough shit that we got to bring in and out.
And speaking of, that's one of the things that we love about Shaman. You guys really go all out on the
Yes.
percussion. I
Yes.
mean, it's like a wall of percussion. It's almost like the wall of speakers that that Grateful Dead had. That you have a wall of percussion back
Yeah,
there.
and that's because when we go way back to when Santana, especially right after that fall time, right after Woodstock and the Atlantic City Pop Festival, whenever we would go see them, the visual was so different than any other
Yeah.
band.
Yeah.
With all that percussion up there.
I
And-
love it, man.
And to me, that was the exciting part of the whole thing.
And that's what I love about Shaman. You guys bring that to life. I mean, Santana's known for his guitar playing,
Right.
but the percussion that's in the background of his music, to me, is what makes that music shine.
Agreed.
It really is. I mean,
Yeah.
you can put any singer up there. We were just talking about Rob Thomas being one of the people that really brought a huge Santana song to.
Yep.
Yes,
That was probably his biggest hit,
it was.
And you think about, so you can throw anybody. You got probably one of the best guitar players in the world, but man, the percussion is what always brought you into
Amazing.
his
But
music.
see, a lot of people don't understand. Shapito, who's the timbale player,
Mhm.
he was the musical.
He's the
director.
Tumbaro.
Timbaro.
Yes.
Thanks for correcting. But he was the musical director,
Okay.
and him and Greg Raleigh and a couple other guys, they wrote all the songs.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Carlos didn't write the songs.
In the early albums,
Really?
if you look on the writers, Carlos is probably in 25% of them.
really,
Most of them were Chapito Reyes, Mike Carabello, Greg Raleigh, and even the bass player Dave Brown. They were the guys that were created these songs, and I always felt that Chapito and Michael Carabello never got the recognition that they.
No, especially because that's if they're the ones that are writing this music. Now I would imagine they wrote the songs. Of course, you always get the beat going, you get that
Right.
that melody, and then Carlos would just show up with the guitar and just do his thing.
Oh, yeah, and they're like
Yeah.
certain songs like Europa and Samba Pati were Carlos's songs, but the rest of that band was so involved in all the writing.
That's awesome. I
And
didn't know
some
that.
of the songs, when we learn them, when you start to read about the songs, and some of the songs that I love, I'd look on who wrote them, and it was like, oh my God, Chapito and Carabello and Dave Brown. It was amazing how much
Wow.
they were
and,
involved.
and Shapiko, he opened that whole area for percussion. I mean, before him, nobody was doing that Latin rock percussion. It
Yeah.
was all- and then obviously he had people that he would follow, but in the rock world, there was nobody
Yeah,
else.
they were, what those guys were doing, they weren't following anybody. There was no one doing it.
Yeah.
And they just created something that, and I'll tell you what, there's not many bands that came along that could do it like that.
No, I agree. Not
Yeah.
not at all. Not at all.
And Mike Carabello is the only conga player in the whole Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I
wow.
did not know that.
Yeah.
See, this is what I love about this show. You
Yes.
learn stuff about some of these bands
Yeah.
that you love. I got to ask you. So, Santana, when's the first time you ever saw them in concert?
Well, I saw them at Atlantic City Pop Festival.
Oh, so you were at the Pop
Yeah.
Festival?
And that was two weeks before Woodstock.
Yeah, that was a big
And I-
show.
And I remember they played on a Sunday, and it was at the Atlantic City racetrack, and I was on the track that day, and they introduced the Santana Blues Band. Nobody knew who they were. There was just some band that was going to fill in, and we were with my friends on the track, and we were messing around, and you're hearing this rhythm coming off the stage. I'm looking up and go, who the hell are these guys?
Yeah.
And I see this, this guy sitting behind three congas
Wow.
with giant afro, with cut all sleeves, and I'm going, what the hell is this?
That's
The
awesome.
next day, which it was a Sunday, the next day I went to South Street and I bought a conga for $30. And that's how just because of Mike Carabello.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Now,
Wow.
I didn't know Frank at the time, but I was at the Atlantic City
Oh wait, so you guys were at the show, but not
Oh,
together.
yeah,
we didn't. We didn't know.
know
You
each
probably
other.
inhaled the same like weed smoke that was in the air, though, right?
Yeah.
You know, funny story about that concert at Atlantic City. Back then, you know, you could go backstage. There was no security or anything, and to get to the bathrooms, you had to walk backstage. And I'm going backstage, and I see these guys lifting all this gear up onto the stage, and this British guy yells over to me, "Say, can you hand me that floor tom?" And I remember putting the floor tom up, and his foot was right at my face level. And I noticed, I said, "Oh, look at these boots this guy's got on." The next time I saw those boots was in the Woodstock movie, and it was Joe Cocker's.
Oh, wow.
wow.
He's the guy that asked me to move this.
Oh.
And I'll never forget that. I mean,
Well, you would
I
have known
didn't-
if it was Gene Simmons.
I had no idea who it was. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I love Joe Cocker too, man.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
another one of those voices, man.
Yeah,
So
amazing.
iconic in
Yep.
his music, you know.
Yep.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. So you guys were saying no, you didn't go out to South Street and buy a timpani that day, though.
Nah, nah. Actually, I was in a club band playing in Margate at the Elbow Room.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay.
I mean,
yeah.
the Elbow Room's no longer. I think it's Memories now,
Yeah.
or a place like that. Yeah. And I
Wow.
was in a band with a friend of ours, Rich Hartline. We did a Santana set. This is 1970, 1971.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
So when
But I was playing drums. I'm not.
so you guys have been playing. How long has Shaman been together now?
17, right?
This is 2017,
Wow. Okay, so
Yeah.
you've been doing some shows then.
and been through 54 musicians.
What? No
Wow.
way.
It's
Except
ver-
you two.
because it's a very difficult project.
Yeah.
Especially, we do it note for note, and it's not easy to do.
Yeah,
Wow.
we've gone through a lot of different guys.
I find that surprising because it's like it's such a tight group, such a tight band.
Well,
Yeah.
it's the guys we have now. We've had for 2 years, so
Good,
that's
okay.
really good.
Good.
The issue was from the beginning is a lot of guys would say, "Oh, I love Santana," not realizing how complicated it was. We didn't even realize,
No, it's
and still we start taking it apart, and it's really complicated.
especially percussion wise.
Yeah.
Oh,
When you have three people plus a bass player
Yeah.
all trying to keep time,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very
you know,
true.
that's a lot.
It's very
and-
true.
and it's like sometimes you can't walk and chew gum at the same time
Yeah.
because the three of us and some song we're all playing a different rhythm
Wow. Yeah.
and a different time change.
Which is Santana's, the music's known for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They
That
were
is so cool.
incredible, man. When you think about it was 1968, 69, 70. What they were doing at that time, I don't. It's amazing how
Yeah.
they
And they
got
were
it
20
together.
years old, 22 years
yeah,
old.
they were
Yeah.
young kids,
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Wow.
You
Oh,
know,
my goodness.
but they did it, and not too many bands have followed them.
Yeah.
You know, there's not a lot of bands like Santana.
Yeah. Time flies, you know, before you know it. It's like it just goes so fast, you
Yeah.
know.
So what's been going on with this beautiful theater?
Yeah.
We're killing it, man. We you know,
this-
we went through some rough times, you know, for about 4 years after COVID, and you know, things are starting to actually pick up and doing a little bit better.
Well,
and,
it should, because this
Yeah.
place is an awesome
Yeah.
place.
We tell
to play,
everybody
man.
it's got to be the nicest theater on the East Coast.
Well, and we look for the best of the best. And if there's, you know, we've had another Santana band that played here before. They didn't have the percussion you have. They didn't have the guitar play. They didn't have this is that Santana band.
Right.
You know, we were just talking to we have a new Elvis, Jesse Garron. We were just talking to him. You know, our other Elvis is no longer doing Elvis. You know, we had him for several years, and we were looking for a new Elvis. We had a couple, you know, we saw. We didn't really care for him. One of my friends, Joe, sent this one over, and I was like, wow, now this guy's good. And thank God he happens to be local.
Mhm.
He's right from Wilmington. And Elvis is just one of those things, especially at Christmas, that people love. And it becomes like something that you do every year, you know. We didn't have one. And we have now another one who I think is going to be just as good. You know, we have other bands that just played this week, like Awaken. You know, we're a
Right.
huge
Yes.
Yes fan. I'm a big Yes fan. I
Right.
love Yes.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to give you Yes like Awaken does. And it's the same with Shaman. I don't feel like there's any reason to bring another Santana band ever in, you know, if you have a band that does it so perfectly and so well.
I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate
Thank you.
that. And here's the question I have: if you're going to create a band, whether it's a Santana band, a Yes band, or how could you create a Santana band and not have the proper setup?
Because a lot of
why-
people are
what you
looking there
doing?
because what happened was you know you've been in the music scene for a while. I mean,
Yeah.
you knew Uncle Rob, you
Oh,
know,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So and so you know you've been in the scene for a long time, and you know for a while what it was you had bands. You go back to back when Rob and Robert Hazard and all those guys were making music locally. You had the A's, the Hooters, you had
Yep.
all these bands. They're making music. They're getting record deals. That doesn't happen anymore. So
No.
now what do? You become a cover band. And you're a cover band at this bar, you're a cover band at that bar, you're a cover band here. We got cover bands that are asking way too much money to be a cover band. They're out of their mind.
Right.
I can get a cover band to play for $50. What happened was cover bands like, we need to make more money. What do? And somebody goes, well, your lead singer really sounds like Pat Benatar. Well, let's do a Pat Benatar tribute act. And then all of a sudden they realize, people will pay double for a tribute act than what they'll pay for a cover band or more.
Right.
Like we do here, we do a good deal. We have bands that leave here and they make a lot of money because we do a deal with bands. We give them a percentage of ticket sales.
Right.
Well, I do that for two reasons. One, we got to pay the bills. People don't realize there's a lot of money in a theater. Not just $6,000 to $7,000 a month in electric, but you got $60,000 in property taxes. You have constant maintenance. You have crews. You have. There's so much that goes on. Just toilet paper, for God's sake.
Yeah.
We spend thousands of dollars in toilet paper a year, so we got to make money. I mean, and you don't make it any other way. So we do. And the idea behind it is you get the bands to push too, because the bands know they're making a percentage. So that
Right.
band now helps push ticket sales because we have 100 and some shows a year. It's hard to push, but the people that come to our shows and the thousands of people that are on our Facebook and thousands of people that are, they might not be all Santana fans,
Right.
but the people that follow you are Santana fans because they're following you.
Right.
So we need you to promote as well. And you get bands that do not promote.
No,
And we're like,
we promote.
and then they bitch. I'm like, look, we went on your Facebook page. We went on your website. We're not even on there anywhere. How can you possibly expect to sell tickets if the people that like your genre of music and the band that you're tributing, if those people don't know, we can't just reach those people.
Right.
When we reach out to the people that are on our list, they're people from all the music that's been here throughout the years.
Right.
We've accumulated, not just email addresses and phone numbers and Facebook friends and Instagram followers and stuff, not just because of one band. And that's what bands don't understand. You have to promote your band as well.
Right.
And all these bands decided, let's be tribute acts. Some care about the music. They have a history like you do with Santana.
Right.
Others are just out to make a buck. And it's obvious. And that's where you say, that why does the one Santana band not have the percussion needed versus this guy who's just got a drum set?
What
Because
do
they're
they
out to
think?
make a buck.
What are they thinking?
They're out to make a buck.
I mean, but-
They're a cover band that said, hey, I sound like Santana or I sound like Rob Thomas maybe. He can play like Santana. Let's be a Santana cover band.
it would
you know?
would be like a Yes band having the drummer sing.
Yeah.
Like how could you?
Yeah. Well, I don't mind. Like we just had we just had probably the best, another band that I love from late 70s, early 80s was Rush. It's just talking about drums. One of the greatest drummers to ever live was
Right.
Neil Peart.
Right.
And you go back and listen to that. We just had a band here who, they don't do the 3-man group. What they said is we found an amazing drummer. We found a guy who sounds just like Geddy Lee. And does he not?
Mm-hmm.
I
You
mean,
have to. Why wouldn't you?
so
Yeah.
now you got a 4-piece band, but they're giving you Rush. If you want to go see Rush, well, you can't now. You can
Right.
still see, whatever they're
Right.
doing now. But if you've ever seen Rush, you're never going to see Rush again. But
Right.
if you want to experience, that's what these bands, they call them tributes. I like to call them experiences. Because if you want to experience Santana,
Absolutely.
you come see Shaman.
Yeah.
If you want to experience Rush, you come see what's the hell is the name of the band?
Farewell to King.
I always forget the name of the band because I always see the logo. A Farewell to Kings. It's AEF2W or KWWGM.com.
Yeah,
But an amazing band. But they're giving you the music. And these guys got together to do Rush music, not to do cover band
Right.
music.
Right.
And that's what happened. You had a lot of these cover bands that just said, oh, well, we could be a Pat Benatar tribute and make money at a theater. And they're not good. And that's the problem. And that's what you end up fighting are these other tribute acts that get out there and they're not as good. We get, I don't know how many AC/DCs, Fleetwood Macs.
ACDCs of all genders and sizes.
Yes, I get
You're not-
a new. It's
Yeah.
the funniest thing. I get a new Fleetwood Mac person weekly. A new band doing Fleetwood Mac weekly. I could book a year
Yeah.
of every Friday and Saturday of just Fleetwood Mac bands.
Have you ever?
That's how many are out there. It's just not even a
You
joke.
guys ever had rumors of Fleetwood Mac?
No, but that's another. Yeah, but I'm going to tell you something. We've had 3 or 4, and they're all good.
Yeah.
We have Gold Dust Woman coming back because she does They do Fleetwood Mac and what the hell's her name?
Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks. Steve is my remember the words because you're getting old. But she does the Stevie Nicks too, and she does it with perfection.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so a lot of them just do Fleetwood Mac, but then they throw in a Stevie Nicks tune. But she does like the whole thing. But we've had like 3 or 4 Fleetwood Mac, and they're all good. They're all good.
Yeah.
It's great music that's hard to not do well.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
It's true.
And it's one of those
Yeah.
things where now you say, have you heard me? Yeah, I have. But have you heard these other Fleetwood Mac bands?
No, I haven't.
The
I only
problem
know
is
them
There's
for
so
YouTube.
many. Yeah, but
Yeah.
there's so many of them now.
See, I look at it this way. If you don't like Santana, but you love music, I mean, what we present, the music is.
Oh, it's
It's good.
phenomenal. It's
Yeah.
it's
So
phenomenal.
if you're
Yep.
just a music lover
Yep.
and you like to hear good guitar, good percussion,
Yeah.
Amazing
good
percussion.
keyboards,
Keyboards.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
the leads, those Greg Raleigh leads are the most iconic B3 leads of all time.
Yeah.
They are, I don't know how he did it, how he at 20 years old, 19 years old, and they've stood the test of time.
Well,
Yeah.
remember, Santana's one of those bands that I say to a lot of bands that when you hear the music or you hear a song, you're like, oh shit, I didn't even realize that was a
Yeah,
Santana
right,
song.
right.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
like
Yep.
like when you hear the Rob Thomas song, you think, Smooth is a Rob Thomas song.
Right.
That's a Santana
Right.
song.
Right.
And that's the funny thing about it. And Rob Thomas is again an amazing artist,
Yeah.
amazing songwriter, amazing singer. But to me, his biggest hit for me is the Santana song.
Right.
Right.
But you don't realize. But then you hear like when you guys play and you start hearing something, you're like, oh, I totally forgot this was a
That
Santana song.
song. Right. We get,
Yeah.
I get that a lot.
Yeah,
my,
but-
my friend Stevie has that shirt from the music video.
Oh, really?
He wears it every
Oh,
Friday.
that's-
For
I love
really?
that.
He calls it Hawaiian Shirt Friday, so he has like a whole collection of Hawaiian shirts. And for Halloween this year, he actually went as Rob Thomas. in
That's
this music video.
hilarious.
But now I see him wearing the shirt all the time, like
Yeah.
unironically.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's
"Yeah,
a
you
great
know,
shirt.
Hell yeah, dude, dragons on it.
Yeah, that's a great shirt.
Yeah, he
You
went
know-
out and found
you know
it.
what we found with the people that follow us and Santana fans, they are like fixated on the first 3 albums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing. Like they want to hear Smooth, and now we're actually added a few more songs from Supernatural, which we'll be playing here, which we've only played one other time, but they want to hear those first 3 albums.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And what we have to tell any keyboard player that comes in is listen, it's a lead, but you have to do it as if it's a verse, a singing verse. 'Cause
Absolutely.
people don't even realize
That makes sense.
that they know every note of that organ lead.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because if you miss it, they're going to say, oh, that wasn't right.
That makes
And they
sense.
don't even realize that they know. it.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean,
Yep.
when we first started the band, I was talking to my cousin, told me the Santana Trivia Band. The first thing he said to me, hey, you guys doing waiting?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we're doing waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love like I said, I love Santana, and I want to make sure, like we always want to make sure we get the best of the best. And
Oh, we appreciate
and-
that, man,
and-
very much.
yeah.
again, the whole band to me, it's just they were so. I'm glad it's the same guys from last time because
Yep.
that last time you guys were here, it was such a great show.
Yep, same guys.
Yeah, it was
Everything's
so
the
much
same.
fun.
And you brought up Rush.
Yeah.
Chuck and I have a kind of a connection with Rush.
Uh oh.
So Chuck and I started Cinesound. It was 1976.
Real quick, tell everybody about Cinesound, what it was, because we know we
It's a
understand.
sound company that we started in '76, and it in the very beginning. I mean, we did not know what we were doing. We got a SBA loan, got a bunch of equipment, didn't get the right equipment, and we were
Well, it all started because we had a band called Prometheus,
Mhm.
and we played over 100 colleges, and we were like a knockoff of Genesis band.
we were.
But we did our own music, and we had a whole stage show, and I mean, we had tractor trail. It didn't make any money, but it
When
had
you guys
tractor
coming
trails.
back out? We're gonna do a Prometheus reunion.
We've been asked. People have asked.
We should
us
do it
to
here.
We had
Yeah.
7 different scenery sets and everything. It was,
So-
it was
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, we traveling with a tractor trailer. This is back in what, 71,
70.
72. But-
Wow.
So we get into the sound business and we realize we don't have a monitor rig. Okay. And that's very important.
Yeah.
We're doing Cool in the Gang at Rutgers. And I'm sitting on the side of the stage acting like I'm working a monitor rig, but it wasn't even plugged in.
Yeah.
Cool, the bass player, he's like right near me. He's playing bass. He keeps yelling at me, I need monitor. And I'm acting like I'm doing it. And there was nothing even on. The last
I've done that
song,
myself.
he's getting really mad. The last song, he takes that bass and wings it at me. And I see it coming at me like this. And I just move my head and it goes right over my head. He was so pissed. And I said to Chuck after the show,
We have
I
to-
think we got to get a monitor rig. So the next day we were looking through albums, thinking and we see this Rush album, Rush
Yes.
Live, and we look, and I said, if these monitors are loud enough for Rush, they're good enough for us. We look on the back, and it was
the
Maryland
company,
Sound.
they were
Right.
in Baltimore.
There was a Maryland Sound with the crowd.
Yeah. But they were actually in Baltimore, Maryland.
No, which isn't
okay.
far.
Yeah, and the
So-
next day we drove down there, knocked on the warehouse door, and said, "We need to talk to you about monitors." And that's how we learned about monitors. The next thing you know, Cinesound's monitor rig was like known in England and Ireland. We got tours from people from bands that played on our rig, and they would tell other bands, and they would call us and say, "We're coming in." And that's how I got Gentle Giant. 3 tours with Gentle Giant, and that was
And
It was all
it just
because
took
of
a
the
base to
monitor.
the head.
it was right. Yeah.
Face to the
When I
face.
saw that thing coming like a helicopter, and I just went like this.
That's hilarious.
Still working dials that weren't plugged in.
Yes.
And you guys had Cinesound was around for a while.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was 22 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was like a local. Even our front of house guys and people here that work for us know who Cinesound
Yeah, I
is.
think
Yeah.
one of your guys has some of my equipment.
Yeah,
in his
Tommy, yeah.
basement. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, it's still out there.
And
Yes.
the funny, the band Talking of Town, the
Yeah.
bass player Ace,
Yes.
he started with Frank.
Yeah,
What do you do?
no,
Throw a
worked
bass
for
at
me.
you?
No, we
You
want to
know
throw a
Ace?
bass at him.
Yeah, but and I heard that. I think I saw them once. The lead singer for that Talk of the Town is
It's
really, good.
Well, I'm looking forward to it because
She's-
we have never had a Pretenders
It should be pretty
yeah,
cool.
band here. So, and I love Chrissy Hyde. I saw the Pretenders back. God, I'm going to say probably 81 or 82, maybe at JFK Stadium. They were part of one of those big JFK shows.
Right.
Yeah, and I remember them. And I think Uncle Rob was there. He was always at the JFK shows. He was always opening up because he was the
Yeah.
big local hero. But I remember seeing them, and we were just talking about it. You go back to the 80s, right? And you look at 80s females. There were so many rock and roll icons. You had Chrissy Hyde. We were just saying Pat Benatar. You had Deborah Harry. You had what were you saying?
I
what-
completely forgot, and I'm the one that said it.
Yeah, what's her name? Joan Jett. Yeah,
Joan
Joan
Jett,
Jett.
yeah.
But you could probably go on. I guarantee you, we could if people watching would put more in, especially Joe Morrison
We
would know.
got Annie Lennox.
Oh yeah,
Lennox,
Annie Lennox.
yeah,
Yeah,
Kate
there were
Bush,
so
Kate
many great female voices. And I tell all these bands that come in, like we have actually the president of Michael Kelly Guitar Company. They'll be back in November. He's got it called the 80s flashback. Or radio flashback, and they do what 70s, 80s,
70s and 80s.
like all the
Yes.
rock
the
hits from
hits.
70s. I don't bring many
The
bands in that
radio
do that,
hits.
but they are
70s,
so
80s.
good and they're so talented that we bring them back. Plus, they're one of our sponsors. So how do you say
And
no?
that
right?
helps.
their
Yeah.
drummer is
Yeah.
actually the reason they're called Radio Flashback. It's all radio
Yeah.
hits from the 70s and
Oh,
80s.
really?
Yeah,
And their
it's so good.
drummer is an actual DJ on a radio station up in New York.
Yep.
So he
Huh.
has the voice.
It's
he,
great.
He
It's
introduces
great. So
the
much
songs in
talent.
between, basically as if you're listening to
But-
a radio station.
But I always say, if you're going to do it, why doesn't somebody put together one with all female rock from the 80s? I mean, you have so many iconic songs, so many
Right,
iconic
yeah.
singers. You know what I mean? And we get the same Pat Benatar tribute. I've never seen a Deborah Harry was huge. I love Blondie. You go in my office.
Yeah,
I got like
ever
I
seen
got
Blondie
we did so
pictures.
many shows with Blondie in
The
beginning.
Pretenders, another one. The Pretenders. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yep.
I remember. I remember my Uncle Rob opened up for. It was Genesis tour, and they were doing Abacab, and it was them. It was George Thorogood. It was a flock of seagulls.
Oh, my God.
Deborah Harry with Blondie, and Uncle Rob and somebody else. And I was backstage for the whole show. It was like this big show, and it was his birthday. Somewhere it got ruined. Hurricane Sandy hit my house and ruined all this stuff I had in the basement.
Right.
And one of them was the backstage pass to that show. And it was the coolest backstage pass because it said, Genesis Live Abacab. And then it said, "Happy birthday, Robert Hazard,"
Oh,
on the
man.
backstage pass.
Wow.
And I had that backstage pass forever, and it got fucking ruined with that hurricane.
Oh, man.
So we were backstage for the whole show, like on the side. They had like Miller Lite giving it out to it. We were like 16 years old drinking
Yeah,
Miller Lights
yeah,
on the side of the
right.
stage. After the show, there was this, great thing where the Phil Collins stayed out and the drummers, and they played like after everybody left. This was JFK Stadium was like empty, right? And they're still playing drums for my uncle's birthday party. It was the coolest thing ever. But I'll never forget. I'm sitting there, and it's Deborah Harry. And look, this is the 80s. She was gorgeous.
Right.
I'm 16 years old. I'm sitting there. Here comes Deborah Harry. My tongue's hanging down to my, my knees.
The beer's just spilling
Yeah,
on
and
him.
I'm just sitting there with a beer in my
Still in his
hand,
lap.
looking at her. And she stops. She goes, "Hey, sweetie." I'm like, "Hi." I'm just like, "Hi." And then the guy from Flock of Seagulls comes up, and he's got this hair like
Oh, yeah.
900 feet high. And she goes, "You didn't see this, sweetie." And she kind of gives me a wink, and she puts her hand. He puts his hand out, and he's got a handful of pills, and she starts kicking around a couple pills, and he goes, "That's the one you want." He goes, "Wait." He goes, "You're gonna want this after, though."
Oh,
I'm like,
God.
"What the fuck did I
What
just
wa-
say?"
What was it about her? What was it about Deborah Harry that was so?
I don't know. She was just. I think it was the rock. It was the music. You know what I mean? It was even Pat Benatar. She was like, people loved. She was like, she was so hot when she was
Right.
on stage
You want
rocking
to hear
out.
something? A real short Pat
Yeah.
Benatar story.
Go
Real
ahead.
short. First time we were doing them, and the guitar player comes walking out. He had during sound check, and he had a wireless guitar, so he wanted to hear what it sounded like at the mixing board. And he's playing right next to me, and I'm looking at her, and I looked over and I said, "Man, she is fucking hot."
And he goes, "That's my wife."
That's my wife. I swear to God, she goes, "Yeah, I know she is. That's my wife." I went, "Oh, shit."
We actually have a comment here from somebody that,
That is
apparently
funny.
used to work for you.
Oh no!
Yeah, let's see. Here we
Steve's
go.
gonna bring it up. Eric Harding,
Oh, my God. See,
Wendy O. Williams, and the Plasmatics. Talk about another rocker.
Oh,
I
my
forgot
God.
about Wendy and her.
we-
She's talking about all she ever wore was black tape on her
Well,
nipples.
I'll tell you a story. When I used to have to get paid, we were with them for years. I used to have to go back after the show and get paid, and the manager was her husband or boyfriend or whatever. His name was Rob, and I used to have to go to him, and he was counting out the money, and she was always sitting on the table cleaning the gook
The glue.
from the tape off her nipples as I'm standing there trying to count money.
And she wasn't hard to look at
No,
either.
oh, no.
She was another one.
That was years of
I
fun
remember
with
the
those
first
guys.
Plasmatics album I ever got. It was like her live on the cover. It was like a live. If you remember that album, it was like a live shot
Yeah.
from and it was her basically naked
yeah.
with just
And
And
she-
I was like, I bought the album for that,
Yeah.
And then we
by
found out the
end of
music was good.
By the end of the set, she would have
Yeah.
just tape on the nipples
Yep.
and shaving cream
Yes.
between her legs.
Yep.
Yep.
That was Wendy
And they were
Williams.
the nice. They looked very weird. Those guys,
Yeah,
but they
yeah.
were the nicest, like normal guys to talk to, but they were just looked so crazy.
They're probably all in the priesthood now, right?
Yeah, that's right. Boy, they were good years. Though.
Dude, yeah, I see that was the music I grew up with. Just having the family that I had. But I
Right.
love that era of music, and there's so many great stories. Just from
Oh.
me. I can't imagine what you have because you did all this. Cinesound was big.
Oh,
yeah,
we did all that, especially in the '80s.
yeah.
The only bands that we didn't do were the arena type bands.
Yeah.
But all the other ones came through us first,
Yeah.
and it was great. It was great. I published, not really published, but I wrote a bunch of different stories of things that had happened during Cinesound, and it's pretty interesting stuff.
You got to. I would love to look at that. You got to
Yeah.
send that over to
Yeah,
me.
I will. I have it on emails. I'll send.
Oh,
it
you
to
should send that to me. I would
Yep.
love to read it, and then maybe we get you in one of these days to talk about it. And we'll just do
Yeah.
it. Just do a maybe get some of the people from Cinesound, like the guy who just what was his name, Rob.
Eric.
Eric Harding. Yeah, maybe
Yes.
get him on. Let's talk to him like live, and we'll talk about some of that. Because that's that was the Philly music scene.
Yes.
That was a big. People don't realize. Like if you go to South Street now, it's like going to hell. You know what I mean? Back in the 80s, you went to South Street, it was like music. It was like culture.
Where hip was.
Yes. And that's what I said. When I went there as a kid, it was like the place to go. Now you don't go there armed. You might as well not even go, It's literally turned into the pits of hell.
It's different now, I guess.
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
been there in a long time.
Don't go unless you got a gun on you, and
It's
know
a
how to
much
use
different
it.
world.
Yeah.
It's a much
But-
different.
Rob,
My generation
did
is
you-
probably the last one that had the good South Street experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
still
you're
had
right,
the
'cause my
TLA and
son
the
was
truck,
about your
and yeah,
generation.
yep,
Right.
yep. So
And
it all went downhill after us.
Real
It's,
fast.
yeah,
Real
real
fast.
fast.
you remember a ska band called what was Frankie's band's name? Oh, SGR.
Yeah.
That was my
Yeah.
son's band.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And
I
he
love
brought-
ska music too.
He
Yeah.
got me
Yep.
back into the
Yeah.
sound business. I used to do all their mixing and all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ska
Yeah,
music
oh,
is
sweet.
great. It's
Yes.
that's just a good genre of music.
Yeah.
It's so uplifting.
Yes.
It's so
Yep,
much fun.
it
I love
is.
it, man. I
It
love
is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yes.
We have yet to have like a ska band.
We
here.
need ska is it's one of those things
Yeah.
that is like making a comeback. It's
Yeah,
kind of
I'm
like
glad.
Creed. To be
Wasn't
honest.
last 2 weekends ago or something? There was a ska weekend somewhere. That
Yeah.
Yes. was that?
Yeah. Abby's brother's like real into ska. Like they had like a ska wedding and everything.
See,
And
I
they go
love
to
ska
festivals
music.
all
I
over the
really
place.
do.
It's all
Yeah,
ska
I really
bands.
do.
Yeah.
The big English man was what? Madness.
Madness. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm a
And then-
big Madness fan, man. I'm a big Madness
were
fan,
great.
man. I have
Yeah.
a bunch of their albums next door in my office. I love Madness.
we
man.
did them a couple times, sound for them, and they were so cool, man.
Oh man,
Yeah.
what was the big video? One step
Yeah,
beyond.
one step
Well,
beyond.
that was their
beyond.
yeah, that was like their big hit.
Yep.
And then
that guy.
Our
playing the
House.
saxophone. Yeah.
Our House.
Yes.
They had that big song. They were great. I love them. We actually have it's June, the end of June. We have a bunch of 80s bands coming. We have Tommy Two Tone coming in. We have who's
Big Country.
Big Country, of course, in a big country. Remember
Yeah.
those guys?
Oh, really?
And Bow Wow Wow. With
Wow.
you remember them for percussion?
Yeah.
They had that great. Their
Yeah.
percussionist ended up playing, who was one of my favorites, with Adam Ant. And
Yeah.
Adam Ant had two percussionists. I don't know if you remember, he had two drummers. That's where you got that drum sound
Yeah.
and all his
Remember
music.
that outfit Adam Man used to
Loved
wear?
him, man.
It's so
I
cool.
saw him like 3 times in concert, and Rob took me to one. I was such an Adam Ant fan, and
that
I always
was
tell this story because I worked with 9 Inch Nails when I was in the film business on
Did you
some
really?
some film scoring stuff.
Yeah.
With Trent Reznor, he scored a bunch of. We didn't really score. He put the music together for films, and we worked on a couple things. And I was just huge. I just loved 9 Inch Nails, and I bought the CD of I can't remember what the Broken, I think was the name of the album. I put the CD in. It was like almost like an EP. It had like 4 or 5 songs on it, and I let it go. And I'm driving in the car, and the CD player I thought was broken. It starts counting down. Like after the 4th or 5th song, which was the last song on the album, it starts going 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I took it out. I'm like, something's wrong with this fucking thing. I put it back in. I skipped. It just keeps going. So I just let it go. It gets to track 98. And it's 9 Inch. All of a sudden, out of nowhere,
No.
starts doing Adam Ant music, the original old UK stuff,
right.
Car Trouble, all those big tunes.
Yep.
That was Trent Reznor's biggest
Oh,
influence
wow.
was Adam and the Ants, and he hit it
Yeah.
all the way. So I went and bought the record because that was a CD, and on the record it's the music and a bunch of black, and then these last couple songs at the end of it. It was the coolest thing I'd ever seen.
Holy mackerel. Yeah,
I
that's-
love music. I love that era.
Oh, the
and-
80s were great.
But you're one of those people that came from that era, and here you
Yeah.
are still doing music today. You got your own band. You're playing at the Landis,
Yeah.
my place.
I
Of
mean,
all,
what could we? What
Yeah.
more could we?
and we crossed
Sure.
paths. When I was a kid, you know what I mean? You were doing stuff, with my uncle in that genre, in the business. We've definitely,
Yeah.
there we were, and here
Yeah.
we are years later. It's
Yep.
so amazing
Yep.
to think about
And-
how things change and
and
where.
when you think way back, when in those the Woodstock time and all that, and seeing Santana back then was.
Now you
just-
didn't make it to Woodstock. You just saw the AC
No,
Fest, right?
I didn't make it to Woodstock.
I was
but
at
you did.
Woodstock.
Oh, you
That's
made
right.
it to
And I
Woodstock.
told everybody watch, but by the time Woodstock came, was only 2 weeks.
By the time
They
you at the
changed-
Woodstock.
Yeah, they changed the name from Santana Blues Band to Santana.
Oh, okay.
And the other thing,
Wait, but that was only like a week later,
was 2
right?
weeks.
2
Yeah,
weeks later.
2
Okay.
weeks, yeah.
And the other thing a lot of people don't understand, it only called it Santana because they were trying to think of a name for the band. They thought about Carabello, they thought about Araya, and they just felt the Santana was the best sounding because it was it
'Cause it was
wasn't
going-
his band, it was
Right.
the group's band.
And it was going to be Santana Blues Band.
Right.
So Carabello Blues Band didn't
sound
work.
That
right.
didn't
Yeah,
work. Yeah.
Yeah. And,
Oh,
and,
wow.
you
Well,
know,
let me ask you, what made you pick Shaman? Why wouldn't you pick Carabella or something like that?
well, we went through a bunch of different things. Shaman was one of the album that came out after
Supernatural.
Supernatural.
Was that the
And-
third album?
No, Supernatural's like the 30th album.
Is that what it
Yeah,
was?
yeah.
And that was, you know, Supernatural.
Well, he
That
put
one-
out a bunch of albums that like I never even saw.
Yeah.
You know the main albums, and that's the ones that everybody knows. You know, it's
Right.
like
Well, I think the first 4 albums are rock and roll.
well, that's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
the ones that I know.
Yeah.
See, there was a lot of albums in between that I didn't even know he did.
Yeah.
And then again, like I said, he came back out with this hit with Rob Thomas, and all of a sudden, you're like, oh, I forgot about
You
Santana.
know, that album, the
Yeah.
Supernatural album with Rob Thomas, at one time sold more records than any other album except Thriller. It was
Really?
number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how many records were sold.
That was
of
such a good record,
Supernatural.
though. It's such a
Yep.
good record.
Wow.
The whole
Yep.
record's great.
Well, also with Shaman, because it was part of their album, the lettering of Shaman, on our logo,
Yeah.
it's almost like Santana's lettering.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I never even thought about that. It does make
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the name. I think it's great, and I love the logo. I love the band. I think it's going to be for anybody who's out there and they're watching this week, and you just love me. Like we said, if you love music,
Music.
and you don't realize, we were just talking to our Elvis guy about Winona Judd, and I feel like it's the same thing. Winona Judd came here. I couldn't tell you a Winona Judd song. I even had the I put on the greatest hits of Winona Judd. I didn't know one song. Not one song that she sang. She came here, probably one of my top 5 concerts of all time. Yes.
Yep.
And she's such a perfection and such a great performer. And the music was good. And that's what I'm saying. If you just love music, go see Winona Judd. If you love music, come see Shaman.
Winona was
Yep.
the daughter, right?
Yeah.
Of the
Yes.
judge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So how did you?
Her
get
father
along with
was
her?
her
she-
father. We swear was Elvis.
Yes.
Was she cool?
Steve
Yeah.
did this.
Oh,
to
yeah.
me.
Was she really?
Ray literally told her that I hate her music, but loved
Yeah.
her live performance.
Yeah.
Like straight to her face.
Oh, I
was
told her
like,
straight to her
this
face.
guy, he can't stand you, recorded, but he thought you were the greatest thing ever. And I'm like, hey man, look, it's a different experience.
Yes. Yep.
Everything that she had, you could tell there was, recorded music, you lose a lot of soul in it, especially once
Yeah.
you get
Yeah.
into putting out, she's got 25 albums out, something like that.
Well-
So you lose a lot of that stuff, live, it was an entirely different person live. It really truly
And
was.
remember, for years they toured as a family, the
Yeah.
Judds.
Right.
So
Yeah.
before they ever went
Yeah.
out on their
Yeah.
own, So
Yeah.
it was, you had that music too, but I didn't know one song, and I tried to go through like the greatest hits online just to find a song that I knew when she was coming. I'm like, I don't know any of these songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Personality, you couldn't ask for a better person, a
Really?
nicer person,
Yes.
and the
Great.
show
Right.
was so entertaining, and I didn't know a song.
We had a kid that kept.
Oh,
he was this little
unbelievable.
country kid, and she brought him up on stage, and she's like, I forget what his name.
From
His name
South
was like-
Jersey.
his name was like Bubby or something like that. And she's like, Bubby, what do you do for fun? And he goes, I like to shoot guns. And
Yeah.
she's like, you like to shoot water
Oh my
guns? And he
God.
goes, no, I like to shoot
Oh
guns.
my
And she
God.
goes, okay, well, what else do you like to do? He goes, I like tires, like doing tires. And she's like, this
Tours. He
kid's-
called them tours.
Tours, yeah,
Tours.
tires.
I like
And-
fixing
I mean,
tours.
he's literally like 6 years old. Like this little kid, he's got
He
his
likes
overalls on and everything.
Fixing tours, he
Fixing
said.
tires.
Fixing tours.
But and she asked, if I come over to your house, what are we going to do? And he goes, well, shoot guns,
Shoot guns, fix
and then
tires.
eat something. I forget what it was.
I forget what it was.
But it was very
so
unhealthy.
funny.
And she's
Do you
like,
do country here? Any more country here?
we try, but it's not that it's hard to do, because as soon as you become a good country artist, the demand for money is way too high,
Mhm.
because people love it, and then all of a sudden they're asking $100,000, and you're like, well, you only got one country song on, but it's on the radio every 5 minutes, and every country person Well, and we're not a big enough venue for them, and they're playing all these country outdoor concerts all over the place.
There's
So
a
it's
lot
hard
of
to get them.
festivals now,
Are there any
especially around
country
here.
tribute bands?
Not really,
No.
not really. Not that the Johnny Cash is the closest thing you get,
Right.
and that
Yeah.
to me isn't really even country. You know, what I mean, Johnny Cash is like country rock. You
A
know?
lot of those guys are
Yeah.
still playing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, who would you like a Toby Keith
Yeah.
tribute? I guess you know you can do something like that, but
Yeah, or
even
Merle
he's still
Haggard
playing. You know, right? Yeah,
or
true.
George
George
Oh,
Jones.
Willie
Yeah.
I love
Nelson.
Merle Haggard.
He's
Willie
great.
Nelson would be a good one.
Willie Nelson would be a fun one.
He'd be a tough one to do though.
Real tough to do. Yeah.
You know, talk
Yeah.
about
Wasn't Merle
Like-
Haggard last night? The bottle let me down.
Yeah.
Last
Yep.
night the bottle
Yep.
let me down.
And those guys,
I love
but
Merle
those
Haggard.
guys live their songs.
Yeah. Oh, well,
I mean,
yeah.
that's-
Those songs were their
Much
life. You're right.
different.
They,
You're right.
They
Yep.
lived
Yep.
those songs about
Yeah.
the bars and jail, and that was their whole life.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same
Yeah.
thing I feel like with coming to see Shaman though. You're going to see a band like Winona Judd. If you just love music, you go see music.
absolutely.
And this is one of those bands. When you come, you're going to be like, wait a minute, I know that song. I know that song. I know that because you don't realize
Yep.
you know the songs
Yep. That's very
until all of a
true.
sudden you're listening to their music and you're like, oh crap, I know all this song.
Yep.
And they're one of those bands. I saw what was it? I don't know what they were in at that time. It was Jefferson Airplane, Jefferson Starship, whatever they
Right.
were at that time. I went we were at Six Flags Great Adventure, and Jefferson Starship or whoever is playing Six Flags, right? You know, Rob played Six
Yeah,
Flags
were
a
you
few
there
times.
that night?
Yes,
'Cause I
absolutely
did-
was. Yeah.
I did the sound.
Well,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We crossed paths with
Oh, yeah.
didn't even know. But so we were there, and they're playing, and there's not a lot of people there to see the show. So we walk right up to the stage, you know, and all of a sudden I'm like, I knew every song they played, every single song that they played, I knew, and I built this city, and you know,
Yeah.
I'm like, I know every
Yeah,
song.
you didn't even realize it.
I would have never realized that, and then I'm looking around, going, why isn't there more people here? to
Who the
see
hell
this
did we
band?
just have
you know?
here that was like that? It was a band that you swore up and down. You were like, you're gonna know them. You're gonna know them. And then they finally came here, and they were playing it. I'm like, dude, this is like every single one of these songs I know.
Oh, I
Who
remember.
the hell was it?
I don't remember, but I remember, but I don't remember.
Man, I really wish I did.
Figure
'cause
that out.
it truly was.
Let's write
I was
that
like,
down.
right,
Hold
like
on a
what the
minute.
like somebody's doing a tribute to this? Like I've never heard of this band. You know, like I don't know any of these damn songs.
know-
He's like, yeah, you will. You'll know
Oh
it
my
right
God,
away.
who
as soon as
was
they
that?
start. I was shocked at
Did you
whoever the
know
hell it
them?
was.
Did you know the songs?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Like
yeah.
I mean, when I tell you even like deep cuts that they were playing, I knew these songs.
I forget
I
who
forget
it
who
was.
the hell it was.
Yeah.
See, with us too, some
Oh,
of the
man.
leads that we do, people don't realize, but they know.
Yeah.
The part.
Yeah.
And if you screw it up, they know you screw it up.
Well,
But,
like
you
Frank
know,
said, the organ, you know
No.
know that riff, you know, and like you said, it's almost like another
Yeah,
vocalist.
it's like I always tell
That's
the
a good way
organ
to
player,
say it. Yeah.
I always tell them it's like a vocal line in the song. It's like the same melody. You have to do it exactly.
Yeah.
And they get it. And you know, our keyboard player that we have now, he like can't wait to do Evil Ways,
Oh man, another
Soul
great
Sacrifice,
Yes.
Waiting, because those leads are so iconic.
Yeah.
And he gets so excited. If we do practice and we don't do Soul Sacrifice at practice, he gets all upset.
Why do they even come? Why do they show up?
What am I doing here?
Soul Sacrifice.
You know, you're playing my
They're
song.
gonna do my song.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
So it's a lot of fun. Man.
Yeah.
Well, look, Frank, I got to tell you, since the day we somehow came back together,
Yeah.
I've kind of felt a very family tie to you, man. I feel like you're family
Well,
here.
we were
Well,
because
yeah,
I was Robert's man for 10
Yeah,
years.
yep.
And that's your uncle.
And I feel like it's, you know, this was always meant to be.
Yep.
And I just want to get to the point in as I get older that I can wear a hat like that and look as cool as you fucking do wearing it, man.
You notice
do,
I didn't
man.
wear a hat.
But I want one. I want to wear one of those so bad when at some point in my life. But
You
I
got to
just
wait till Chuck and I just turned 50.
Yeah.
So you got to wait till you're 50. Then you
all right. Well, I got another 30 years. So
Yeah, when I spoke to Steve, I said, Steve, don't worry, I'm not wearing a hat.
All
No,
right,
look.
man, well, we
Yeah.
can't wait.
no, we can't wait
rest.
either. We love you guys, and let's show that promo one more time.
Yeah,
Steve.
you want to show? it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's Shaman. So it's this Friday, May 2nd. Tickets are on sale now. You can get them at the box office. They're $30. They're all in $30. No taxes, no fees. We have free parking. The doors open at 7. Show starts today. Remember, thelandis.com or use that QR code. Do not just Google, you know, we saw this thing about a Santana band playing at the Landis. You're going to get Skyped for all kinds of fees. If you don't,
Skype.
what do you call it? Scalp?
Scalp.
Scalp?
Scalp.
Well, Skyped is the new cool word the kids are using now. So,
He's going to
Yeah.
get scalped and scalped.
and Skype. Getting Skyped is even worse. That happens now. That scalped is up top. Skyped is below. You guys don't know the cool lingo yet. I'm learning it. But
Oh my
it is May
God.
2nd. Let's run that promo. Let's go for
Yeah,
it.
here we go. Let's see. I gotta take this one off first. No, wait, I think I can go right into it.
Do, 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 do.
Here we go.
Got a black magic woman. Got a black magic woman. I got a black magic woman. Got me so blind I can't see. I'm trying to find her. She's not there. I'll tell you about the way she looks, the way she acted, the color of her hair. Her look is so pure, her eyes clear and bright, but she's not
Hell yeah. And then, of course,
No.
Talk of the Town, the music of the Pretenders, which I'm excited to see because, like I said, I had seen the Pretenders. I don't remember. Dude,
Did you see him in Emerald City?
you know what? This is the thing is, and I talk to, when I go to the VA and I talk to them all the time, they tell me it's PTSD that I have. And I do. I went through, I went through a lot of crap in the military. I went through a couple wars and I don't remember a lot. And they said it happens. You block things out. And when you block those things out, it blocks out a lot of other things. And you don't realize it. In my memory, sometimes I can't remember, but I know I can remember seeing her on the stage. I remember it all. I can't remember where it was. I can't remember who she was with. And then all of a sudden it kind of come back to me. And then I'll forget it again.
Right.
It's the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah, I know.
But it was a great show. I remember going with my neighbor Fred. You know what I mean? We went to the show and it was the Pretenders. And I just don't remember. For some reason, I keep thinking she was with they opened up for the Cars maybe. Because I saw the Cars several times back in the day. Whoever it was, they were in an opening band. And I swear, for some reason, my mind is saying it was the Cars. And it was one of those shows. Because I'd seen the Cars several times.
Would have been,
Yeah.
but there was two great bands.
Yeah, well, you got to remember too. Back in that day, there were so many good venues in Philly. I mean, you had a lot of great venues, and then you had the Spectrum, where you were seeing. You always had good venues where to see good concerts. So, and I do believe I saw the Cars. Their one concert at the Spectrum, and they had a couple openers. I wonder if that was the show.
Maybe.
Yeah, it might have been there.
Because that would
Yeah.
make sense at the
Yeah.
Spectrum.
Yeah,
Those two bands.
yeah,
Yeah, talk about venues in Philly. I mean, there was nights when Cinesound was doing 5 different venues in the center city of Philly.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, that's how much stuff was going on.
Yeah.
Let alone New York and
Yeah.
It was great times.
Yeah, it is. It is. Look, man, it was so good having you on. Like I said, I feel like a kindred thing with you, Frank.
Yep,
I have
yep.
for a long time, and I
Yep.
think it's there for a reason.
So
So,
we were around doing the
Yep.
same stuff at
Yeah.
the same time.
yeah, isn't it funny?
Yeah.
Wow, what a
Crazy.
world! What a world! What a world!
What a wonderful world.
What a wonderful world. Well, look, thank you guys for coming in. Thank you very much.
Appreciate
And remind everybody once again
Yes.
about this weekend. You've got Jesse Garron as Elvis on Saturday, May 3rd. Tickets are on sale at thelandis.com. It's going to be a great show. I'm looking forward. This is our new Elvis, baby. I can feel it.
Yes.
I can feel it. And he seems like a great guy. And then, of course, on Friday, you see him here with us right now. The Shaman is on. It's the Santana Experience. Some of the best, to me, music you're going to see. Like
Yeah.
if you love music and you love percussion, you don't want to miss this show. And of course, Talk of the Town, Music of the Pretenders open up, which I'm excited for because again, I have
I'm excited how
Never
to figure
seen it.
out how to fit all of you on this stage.
Yeah. They're sharing some instruments,
so- cool.
yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
It'll be pretty
Yep.
simple.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we're going to share a lot of gear. And then
Excellent. That makes
whatever
me
they're
happy.
not-
Yeah, we already talked about
their
that.
gear will come
Yeah.
right off the stage.
Yeah.
and we'll
Perfect.
get it.
Perfect.
Yeah, we're going to make it a good now.
Sweet.
But so
There we
it's
go.
going to be a great weekend of music. Again, thank you to the bands from this previous weekend. We love all you guys, man. Like I said, Jackson, I know you were tuning in too. He just texted me a little while ago, said he was tuning in a little late, but we love you guys. We love music here. We love the people that come out. The Landis is the home of music for a reason. And you see right here in this studio, we go back far with music,
Yes.
with just the people we've known for years and years. And we want to keep that thing going. And that's what we're here for. So again, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to Absolute Vodka, our amazing sponsor. And of course, the wonderful Michael Kelly Guitar Company, michaelkellyguitars.com. You see him behind us every week. We'll switch him out next week and throw a couple new Michael Kelly guitars back there for everyone to see. Again, thank you, everyone. Have a great night. Thank you for tuning in, and have a pleasant tomorrow.